Alrighty then, we should be live. Should be. We've got a tornado warning here in North Dakota. Over here just to the west of Ellendale, where we have an area of broad circulation right now. It is not tight circulation. It's probably not producing a tornado at this very moment. But if you live to the north and west of Forbes, here in North Dakota, I would be in your safe spots. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, I guess it's Monday now? Is it Monday? I forgot what day it is. Hello. Hey, Warps. Hi. Welcome in. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to set this up. This is like literally the last thing I think I need to set up. Good evening. That's why James Spann opens up Weather Brains every episode. Good evening. Hey, Red Feather, welcome in. Yeah, there's one city that's in this tornado warning right now over here near Wirch and waterfowl production area. And as of right now, I'm expecting this storm to stay elevated, but it's worth keeping an eye on. We have had some broader circulation on it. So eventually it might try to do something, but a lot of these winds are actually over here in the inflow of the storm. So we definitely have some pretty decent inflow. And believe it or not, the shear environment around these storms are actually pretty impressive. If we come over here to our SPC mesoscale analysis, we can go over to the SRH, storm relative velocity. We are sitting around 400, which is very, very elevated in terms of danger. So definitely got to keep an eye on this storm. It is kind of in some pretty bad thermos right now. The lower level lapse rates around this storm are at around 5.5, which usually means that we're dealing with elevated storms. So these things should be mainly a damaging wind and hail threat. But given the fact that our SRH is so high, can't rule out some brief tornadoes up here. And maybe even if you can get a mature enough supercell, you could get maybe even a strong tornado. But the area where we are watching with the most interest is actually back over here near Mound City, where we are eventually, at least according to the HRRR, expecting some storms to fire over here near Mound City, where we could see the potential for some tornadoes, potentially even some large tornadoes could be possible. Very strong tornadoes could be possible today. And also, there's a chance that we don't see anything as the thermodynamics are still improving, but they have a little ways to go. We are dealing with a little bit of a capping inversion right now over the Mound City, Harrod area over there near Shelby, South Dakota. Also seeing a lot more of initiation out over here. Not really expecting the tornado threat out over here to be overly potent, but we do have a little nose of some 6 lapse rates kind of working their way in here. So the shear environment out a little bit further to the south, at least in terms of turning with height, is not particularly elevated the further south you go. But there is still about 100 to 200 SRH, and maybe these like cells that are like out over in this region where we have a localized area of 300 SRH could eventually try to produce a tornado if we have enough forcing to get these storms to be like mature supercells. But back over here is definitely where our storm of the day would technically come from, is these guys back over here that are trying to fire. We are seeing some convective initiation back down over here. Also some attempts at convective initiation over near Mound City and Harrod. And so that's where I'm keeping my closest eye on, at least for now. One of the things that I've been noticing is that it does seem like we are seeing some storms kind of build back a little bit into this area, which wouldn't be particularly helpful for these storms back over that could initiate over near Mound City, because one of the things that can happen is as these storms spread off to the west, you get a little bit more of that cooler air to kind of enter into Harrod at Mound City, increasing that capping at the surface, and also just making it a lot more of a clustered, kind of like a traffic jam type situation where storms are all fighting for the same kind of food. Or, you know, think of it like, you know, you got a table full of 10 people. They all want one piece of chicken. And yeah, so they're going to be fighting for that environment. Although this storm down over here near Selby could make sense if it does try to, get its act together. It is sitting in around 300 to 400 SRH. Could make sense that even if this storm here could mature, could see it become, a pretty dominant supercell out there. Let's come back over to here and check in on our area of rotation with our tornado warning here in North Dakota, where we still have an area of some broad circulation. You can see we have some pretty strong inflow. We have a decent little, what appears to be an RFD wrapping around on the backside, but you see all these grays in the middle is indicating that we still have some pretty broad circulation with this storm right now. So unless that starts to improve, not sure if they're going to, allow this tornado warning to expire or extend it. I mean, I could see an argument to be made that they could keep it going, just given the fact that there is some pretty strong broad circulation. And if that ever tightens up, could be a problem pretty quickly. In terms of storm chasers, also, let me get the music on. I forgot about the music. Epidemic sound. Bam. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Yes, hello. Hey, Ray J. But yeah, other than that, we do have a tornado watch. I don't think we're going to see much tornadic activity up here near like Bismarck. I think this is pretty much, a completely scraped over environment, and it's about to get nighttime. I don't think we're going to see much more initiation back over there near like Bismarck. Main area that I am concerned about is in this section right here. If we get any storms initiate down further to the south and west, that is what I'm keeping an eye on. So like Prairie, Moo Bridge, Aberdeen, Redfield, and Miller. A couple tornadoes are possible down there, and some of which could be on the stronger side. In terms of our outlook for today, let me get that up. Categorical outlook. A slight risk out here and a marginal risk. Slight risk is mainly for damaging winds and hail, and then we also have a 5% tornado risk. Again, I do believe that most of this tornado threat up here is going to be just elevated showers, so I do think we're probably going to see a pretty low chance for tornadoes up there. But again, for our southern portion of this tornado risk is definitely still looking very, very interesting. If storms can develop and can mature down here, so we shall see if that's actually possible. We also have Tornado Pagey, who just went live. She is in Selby, South Dakota, where that one little storm is trying to initiate. You can see that we also have some cloud cover out here, which is maybe a plus against, like an attribute against storms, really getting their act together. A little bit too much cloud cover. It's going to be harder for that little remaining CIN, or that surface or convective inhibition, to be eroded. If these clouds can kind of clear out a little bit more, we get a little bit more surface heating. That'll heat the surface of the earth and the air above it to be hotter than about, a couple thousand feet above that. So, when you have it higher in the atmosphere than it is lower in the atmosphere, you get that convective inhibition. So that is what these storms are trying to overcome. And you can see out over here, we've got some clearing out there. So got to keep an eye, if there can get enough clearing out in front of these clouds, then maybe something could get started. But again, this is going to be one of those days where we're either going to see something or really not. You're so afraid of tornadoes. The first 15 minutes of Twister was on when you get what? Homesick? Sorry, I'm so afraid of tornadoes that I put on the first 15 minutes of Twister on when you get homesick. Oh, okay. What? Okay, that still doesn't make sense. How does that help you with your homesickness? All right, latest scan out over here. We still have some broad circulation, maybe a little tightening over there. That is in an area where, yeah, we are getting a little bit of a tightening of circulation here to the north and west of Wirch, north of Waterfowl. And I do believe that that could be a legitimate signal. This back over here in our inflow, probably not a legitimate signal there, but this signal here does look somewhat legitimate. So definitely still have some rotation. If you live near Wirch here in North Dakota, make sure that you guys are continuing to be in your safe spots. I thank you, Mark, for getting a membership. Oh yeah, Gizmo, RIP Gizmo. That is sad. I don't really know Reed Timmer or Gizmo like at all. But hearing of a fellow dog losing its life. It is sad, and it makes me think of Chaz and like what would happen if he were to do the same thing, and I just get sad. Gizmo rocked, yeah. That's that dog probably held the most seen the most tornadoes out of like any dog in existence. I think Reed said the dog had seen over, or Gizmo has seen over 200 tornadoes, which is crazy. So Gizmo did live probably the best life a dog could live. I mean, you really can't think of a better owner than somebody like Reed. He did go away from the home every now and then, but every time he was back, he always posts about Gizmo, so he loves that dog very much. The latest scan here looks like this is turning more into like kind of like what you would expect out of the beginning of a mesoconvective system. It's kind of looking like a very broad area of circulation. It is getting broader and broader by each scan. If we go back, you can really see how this developed. At the first, it started off as a little bit tighter, and now it's just getting very large and broad. And it's really hard to get strong or like actual, tornadoes in a rotation this broad. But we'll keep an eye on it. There's still a chance. It's very broad circulation. So you're not gonna have a tornado on the ground right now, but still some pretty strong broad circulation. So I do still personally believe that this should be an elevated thunderstorm though. Let's see, is Stormwater Media live yet? They're gonna be live in 20 minutes. Pagey Tornado is out there. There's some bubbling clouds. That is not going to become that is not storm looking clouds though. Those are like just clouds, like non-storm clouds. That cloud needs to look up on Google what a raindrop is. How am I on this fine evening? I am doing okay. I played golf this morning, was very sad on how much I suck. Still getting used to that. All the chasers are in gas station parking lots. Yeah, I was watching a live stream earlier today of all the chasers in the at a gas station parking lot. Pretty, that kind of camaraderie though, I'm jealous of. That looks like a lot of fun to be just like sitting around chilling, nerding out over meso analysis, with friends instead of just doing it alone at your house. It'd be pretty cool. Like all my friends, they don't care about weather. But I don't really have anybody to really share that passion with. Yeah, there is some forcing starting to develop out over here, but relatively speaking, further down to the south of Eureka, there is like almost a complete lack of forcing right now, which could be another factor in what is kind of hurting these storms' abilities to to get up there in terms of their cloud tops and maturity. What's Chazzy Boy up to today? He is protecting his treats from my parents' dogs. We got Jojo Bean and Taiki at the house right now as my parents, they are going out of town to the beach. And yeah, so we're dog sitting for them. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Let's go check in on our latest radar scan. Yeah, look at that. It's getting even bigger and broader. So not looking too much as like a tornado threat anymore. Would not surprise me if we got this expired here within the next like 5 to 10 minutes. Not alone, you have all of us. That is true. But like when I'm not live, I'm alone. Over here bullying clouds now. Hey, I'll bully anything. Specifically clouds. I don't think clouds deserve compliments unless they're the nice kind. I don't like mean clouds. Some clouds can be bullies, and I bullied the bully clouds. What's up, your girl Frank? Welcome. What language is that, Max? Max Muters. It looks like German. I don't even think that's German. Is that a language? Dumbass cloud can't even get it together for real, for real. No cap. Well, actually, there's tons of cap. Or not tons of cap, but there is still a surface CIN. And one of the things I've been monitoring is the satellite view here. You do see all these clouds like over, you know, Mound City and Shelby, which is interesting. There are some clearings though. Like if we look at Pagey Tornado Stream, for example, she is in one of those little areas, little pockets of clearing. There's also, by the way, smoke in the atmosphere, which could kind of keep some of the sun rays from making it down to the surface, even in a clearing. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays a role in today's severe weather. Nederlands. It is Deutsch. Sprechende Deutsch. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Definitely got to see those thermals get a little bit better out here if we're actually going to see a tornado threat materialize here. Is it rude? Oh, for Canadians to like send us all this smoke? To be honest, they are not discriminating. They're sending smoke even all the way over, eventually to the United Kingdom, in Ireland, in France, also into New York. I mean, you can see, you know, this entire area is covered in some sort of smoke. So, yeah. Kind of checking out over here into the tropics. Has anything really changed? Ooh, look at this. There's Dexter. Dexter's out doing his thing. 40-mile-per-hour winds on that sucker. Gonna be a fish storm. They got smoke there too. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody's like having a problem with the smoke, it's Canada. The most. I mean, look at every single one of these little areas here. That's a fire. All these little things. That's why there's so much smoke. We just have so many fires in Canada. This has been going on all summer. Yeah. That's a lot of fires. And a lot of smoke. No bueno. Surprised to see me mention Ireland. Every now and then there's a reason to mention you guys. Thanks for the coverage. You live in Eureka, South Dakota. Where's Eureka? Eureka, South Dakota. Oh, you're over here. Yeah. Hey, you guys need to be, you know, alert for now. If this continues to build back, though, and we don't get any discrete supercells nearby you within like the next probably like 30 minutes to an hour, and you get this rain move through you, that's going to be it. Your tornado threat's going to go to 0, and your severe threat after that rain passes, it's going to go to 0. So got a little bit longer out there, but I would be weather aware until it gets there. Do I know where that tornado touched down? Northeast of Ashley in McIntosh County. What state is that? Northeast of Ashley. Oh, you mean this guy? No confirmed tornado yet.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
They extended this. That is, it's a little bit surprising, not gonna lie. Still got some very broad circulation, but yeah, I mean, I can understand it. You know, it's broad, very broad, but you know, pretty strong circulation still. That could still maybe try to tighten up. But again, these storms should be elevated. But the the shear environment is just so intense up here. There is still technically a possibility for a brief tornado. So if you live near work, still make sure you're in your safe spots there. Again, that's the lowest, most interior portion of your house. As many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. A tornado shelter or a basement that is underground. If you live up to the north and east of Wirch, also need to be in your safe spots as well. We don't have a tornado on the ground, and we have not, as far as we know, had a tornado on the ground yet with this storm, but still definitely something to keep an eye on and to be in your safe spots for, as it is still technically possible that this could produce. You're using Translate to speak English. Nice. Honestly, I'd prefer you to continue to speak Dutch just to confuse the crap out of everybody. Although you probably can't, you probably don't know what I said there. It's quickly dwindling by the clock. Yes. Yeah, one of the things that should happen is, you know, as we go into the overnight hours, that capping inversion is going to build in pretty fast. So this event only has a couple of hours to really get started, or nothing will really be able to happen. No tsunami threat. No. Well, we have an atmospheric tsunami coming through the area right now. That warning is too close to home. Well, just keep an eye on it. I really don't think these storms have much of a tornado potential, but again, with that SRH, you can never really let your guard down. Whenever you're up at like 400 to 500 SRH, you know, even in like a worsening or a pretty bad thermodynamic profile, I mean, our lower level lapse rates are around 5, so that's not super favorable for tornadoes whatsoever. But, you know, you can still get like briefer tornadoes. Hello, hello. The boundary itself is like an interaction. There's not much of a boundary out here. I mean, basically what you have going is just, you know, some cooler air kind of pushing down to the south. There might be a little bit boundary like draped back in here as far as I can tell. But I mean, this is the boundary that everybody's talking about, is this back down here. If you can get a supercell fire near that and then latch onto that, that's going to be a problem. That is certainly going to be a problem, which is why we're live, just in case that does happen. But as of right now, our storms are still struggling back down in our main interest region. Best case scenario, they don't even fire at all. And, you know, maybe we get a brief tornado somewhere up here, but that's about it. But the problem is the thermodynamics up here. One thing I did just notice is on our mesoscale analysis, still have a little bit of capping inversion or CIN near the surface. It's not very strong CIN, but again, you know, even with that little bit amount, you know, you're still waiting on forcing to come in, and it looks like the forcing is about to leave this area behind. We have a little bit of forcing. We're basically wherever you see these purple lines, that is where our winds in the 300 millibar range are kind of moving apart, and our forcing is really just over where the system is. There's really not much to the south, so even just a subtle little you know, CIN, or, you know, surface inversion or cooler air at the surface can be enough to kind of stifle this event completely. It's a pretty finicky. What do I think you should get? I don't know. It depends on what, you know, period of your life you're in, or, you know, one of the things that could help push these storms along. I mean, we could definitely still see convective initiation down here, but if it's initiated by the cold air instead of some subtle forcing, and you don't get any supercells, and you just get a really fast, you know, upscale into a line of storms, you're probably not gonna see much of a, I guess, much of a dangerous tornado threat. You might get a couple of brief tornadoes, but you know, like actual strong tornadoes that can cause significant damage will probably be out of the picture. There's a lot of spin out there, though. Lots of spin, impressive amounts of spin. But I mean, our 6-degree lapse rates, as far as I can tell on our map, are sitting like this. So all of these little convective attempts are also happening into some pretty poor lower level lapse rates as well. All right, let's come back over to here south of Clume. Yeah, still very broad circulation. No tightening yet. Just very, very broad circulation right now. I still want folks to be in their safe spots just in case this tries to sneak one on us. Hey, Shawnee, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, what's going on here is just, poor thermals. You have some decent shear, but you usually need a more mature cell to be able to tap into all of that. And you just have so much rain over here. You need a healthy supercell to get tornadoes. And, it either need to have been very healthy before all this rain happened. But I mean, yeah. And even these storms out like behind my head, let me zoom out a little bit. Even these storms like over here near Ellendale are going to be pushing cooler air back into it as well. It's going to have a hard time. It is going to have a hard time. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's more of just these storms today. And this is what storm chasers are doing right now. They're just staring into the abyss, wondering why they ever chase in the first place.
My license plate must have been unreadable with dust because I can just see his hand.
Who's in their car?
That's so funny.
It's not Bryce, is it?
What is going on?
The only reason I got stopped for so long is because they couldn't pull up my plate because I have yet to meet a cop.
Honestly, I really don't know what Bryce sounds like. Is that Bryce?
Into their system in a way
like
that will pull it
zeros
up.
or something.
No,
It sounds like someone else.
There's a code for the type of plate that it is that's on the plate, but it doesn't look like it's part of the plate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They just put
Yeah,
in
not a lot of
four
things in
letters
favor
and
for
not
that one
the
storm to the
additional
north.
two.
Just the custom stuff, yeah.
Is it gonna be that?
So, are you talking about that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
That's way closer than Eureka.
And that's also going to be discreet.
Yes.
'cause it's
I love listening to
going
storm
all the way
chasers
down
make
here.
their plans.
We won't have anything discreet.
They look kind of agitated.
I love when they get agitated.
I know, except yesterday.
Yeah, that's another
He
person.
didn't care.
I was like, who dat? I still don't know who that is though. I can't place my finger. That voice sounds somewhat familiar, but I don't know. We just got a new severe thunderstorm down over here near Long Lake for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's moving off to the east at 15 miles per hour. Pretty slow. Someone said it touched down in Forbes. Yeah, I don't believe anybody in chat when they say they see a tornado. I wait for a storm spotter to confirm it. Sometimes, the thing is that sometimes, like, if it's somebody that I see in chat regularly and they say there's a tornado on the ground, then I would be more inclined to believe them. But if it's someone new, could just be like a complete troll. I don't trust that. Believe it or not, it is a common occurrence. People come into chat all the time. They're like, there's an EF5 tornado right over my house right now. It's hitting me. Oh my gosh, my house is gone. Like, they're like chatting the whole time. Like, what are you talking about? Thank you, Dave, for gifting a membership. So we gotta be careful. How's my day going? It's going all right. Going all right. And we got another very broad circulation up here near Edgeley too. You can see there is a difference in the way that these are oriented. This one's oriented more like this. This one's a little bit like that. Which means that if there is some warm and moist air, this one would have a better opportunity of reaching that with its current orientation, but it's not a very favorable environment up there. We'll see. We're still watching it. It looks like they just extended that severe thunderstorm warning now into Monango, North Dakota for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to be moving off to the east. Where'd you guys? So what's the strongest tornado I've ever covered? Probably the Rolling Fork. We've covered some pretty strong tornadoes. Rolling Fork was definitely strong. To be fair, we haven't covered any crazy tornadoes on this channel. Like EF4s, like the Rolling Fork, that was pretty crazy. But like, I'm talking about like the more Oklahoma type tornadoes where you get like an EF5 or an EF4 go through like an extremely populated area. We haven't covered anything. I don't think anything like that before. Yeah, Lake City, I mean, I did some research. I thought there was deaths with Lake City, but I haven't been able to confirm that. Or at least I wasn't able to confirm that in my research. It was in thankfully a pretty unpopulated region, but it was pretty strong. Plevna one. Craziest one we've seen. Plevna. Jeez Louise. All these city names start merging together in my brain. You know, honestly, I think that Sandhills tornado was like one of the strongest tornadoes we had. Reno County tornado was giving it most significant damage southwest of Plevna. Was that the one that was in Kansas? Was that one, like that nighttime one? I don't remember. So hard to bank all of that information and plus weather information in your brain. Yeah, no fatalities. Yeah, 100-something people. Wow, that's good that all those people went into a community shelter. That mile wide. Yeah, I remember that nighttime one that just looked like crazy big. Yeah. But I'm telling you, I think that Nebraska Sandhills tornado was the biggest one for sure. That one was wild. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the picture where it's like you see the collar cloud and it just looks like there's just like a bunch of EF3 tornadoes all circulating around the center of the circulation. Like all of those were just super wide vortices. That tornado was crazy. I forget where it came close to, but all right, we just got our latest scan here. Still broad. Honestly, not super dangerous rotation. It still kind of looks like the beginning of like a more high precipitation MCS type thing. Just not looking super favorable right now for tornadoes, but we're keeping an eye on it. Hopefully it doesn't tighten up at all. That's what we're fingers crossed for. Haven't seen that one. How do I even find that storm? If I could just remember the town name that it was close to. It was the one that flipped the train. Yeah, I did a quick search on Twitter. Let me see if I can. It was like, isn't it near like Hyannis and Ashby? Was it that one? Was it near Ashby and Hyannis? I don't remember. I want to say it was like over there. Let me see. Ashby, Nebraska, tornado. Yeah, it was near Bingham and Ashby. It was this guy. Yeah, I think this is the video where it looked like there was like multiple EO3s, like just swirling around the center. I'm not sure if that's it. I'm not gonna play it because I want the audio to play. That one was in my brain. That was the one that got seared into my memory the most out of all the tornadoes this year. I just remember being just absolutely flabbergasted at what that storm was able to pull off. Had multiple satellites too. Yeah. Our latest scan on this storm is still very broad circulation. Again, we still haven't seen any tightening. Like this down here is out in front of the storm, so that's not a legitimate signal. But our main circulation is still further up to the north, where we have some broad circulation ongoing. Still generally heading towards Benango, but I honestly don't see them keeping it past this tornado warning. And thank you, Helen, for the $1. Thank you so much. Did I hear about that mini earthquake in Yellowstone? I feel like I read something about that, and it was probably like one of those people that scream about every earthquake that hits the Yellowstone area. Where can you move that there are 0 weather threats ever? Let me see. Oh, Sahara Desert. Oh wait, no, you get heat there. Oh, I know. Mars. No, it's really cold there. I guess that's technically a weather threat. And they get like dust tornadoes there that are probably just as strong as regular tornadoes. the moon. The moon don't have weather. So yeah, there you go. The moon has zero weather. It doesn't even have an atmosphere. So technically you could say that that has zero weather. Even though it's really cold, that's just space or the lack of air. Antarctica is too cold and they get blizzards. Actually, Antarctica, they get like super strong winds in Antarctica. Trying to see if there's like a strongest wind. Yeah, 199 mile per hour wind once in 1972 in Antarctica. There's been multiple times when like just over 100 mile per hour winds have been recorded down there. It's crazy. How was the interview? It was good. It was actually really interesting. I really enjoyed talking to the brainy bunch is what they call themselves, but the Weather Brains crew. Yeah, guys, these storms are not firing back here at all. They are still struggling and they're running out of time. Maybe there's just too much against those storms firing. They're running out of time. Because once we get like 2 hours from now, the convective inhibition is really gonna build in. So if they don't fire by then, that might be wraps. We'll see. All right, let's go listen into Pagey. See what they're chatting about. See if they still have hope or if they've lost it.
When was that?
That was the tornado that was all like black because it was that,
Yeah.
that soul.
When,
Yeah.
when was that? It wasn't in the
Need to plan a
North
100,000
Sea,
party.
I think.
Guys, it's gonna be a while before we get there. Like something would actually have to happen.
Feels humid out.
It is disgusting.
It is.
No, it was on July 1st.
Was it?
Yeah. EF Ford.
Why wasn't? And that's last year, 2023.
Need to have another tsunami. I hope. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to get to, like, if we get to 100,000 subs soon, that means something bad happened. If there's another tsunami another North Pacific wide tsunami threat this year, that'd be just crazy. That'd be super rare. So I don't think that's going to be happening. Hopefully you guys don't see me for tsunami coverage for a while. Nothing ever happens. Oh my gosh. Remember that one stream where everybody was like, nothing ever happens. This is all fake, fake tsunami. It got crazy that stream. There were so many crazies that showed up. It was insane. Did you jump into the water? Oh my gosh. I guess that was an effective self-burn. Congratulations. Yeah, all this right here, that's in the inflow. That's not a legitimate signal there. They'll still have some pretty strong winds though, out behind it. But again, still very broad circulation. I wonder if that's going to keep them or if that's going to convince them to keep the tornado warning again. But again, that's not really that's not like if you circle right where they meet, that's in the inflow. So we're getting some sort of contamination in there. You can definitely tell just by the structure of the storm on radar that it's pretty outflow dominant at this moment too. When 100,000, I don't know. For weather, it's going to take a while. If we get like a ginormous fire and we're like the only ones covering it again, then maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I don't even think, do we have any big fires still in the United States? Nah, there was one in California. That one was like in the middle of nowhere. You'll ask everyone you know to subscribe. Yeah, good luck with that. I'll probably lose subscribers more than you can find to subscribe to my channel. We lose about 20 to 30 subscribers a day. Thank you, Helen, for $1. Thank you so much. Yeah.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Yeah, they are issuing a new tornado warning for this area of circulation. Our latest scan is still pretty broad on it. And again, a lot of this rotation is actually still out in front of our precipitation. And this isn't like a low precipitation supercell look to a storm. This is still mostly outflow dominant and mainly a wind threat. But you know, we do technically have some winds that could mix. You know, I do think that we could potentially have a stronger inflow still into this storm, which means a spin up still can't technically be ruled out. So if you live over there near Duane and Boynton, I would be in your safe spots just in case. More right moving. To be fair, it's kind of just been moving right since the beginning. They just kind of drew the warnings wrong. But you can tell this little area of broad circulation has basically been moving right the entire time. Now let's zoom out, see if our storms are going to actually, yeah. Still not looking great. This is what it looks like out over there. This is Pagey Tornado. As you can see, there's actually still a decent amount of cloud cover out there. Bye for now. See you later. Thanks for coming in. A carrot cake, if it's got that icing on it, like, I don't know if y'all have ever tried that carrot cake at the gas station. The one with the little carrot on it. I live for that. It's probably not the best carrot cake ever, but I live for it. But as you can see, we do still have a decent amount of cloud cover. Yeah, red velvet's pretty good. Yep. Cream cheese frosting. Is that what it is? I don't know. Yeah, still waiting on that latest scan to come in. What is this little thing happening down here? Yeah, it must have just like a little area of instability that's poking up ahead of the storm. Because we do have a decent amount of forcing, so pretty much any boundary that's in the area that runs into instability is going to convect in this environment. You can see these storms out in front of that forcing are struggling to mature really at all, which is not surprising. Or they have a big old apple fritter. What's an apple fritter? I've heard of them before, but I've never actually like searched what they look like. Kind of looks like a cinnamon bun. Looks good. Where am I learning all the info? Notice that you are becoming more and more fluent in weather knowledge. It's just practice. We practice almost every single day. We're live a lot. I'm always looking at weather, mesoscale analysis. I learned a little bit from college, a lot of it, honestly, from like people like Convective Chronicles. Like you only learn so much from college, like the basics and stuff, but like actually like working in that into like a forecast or like Convective Chronicles is really good at like breaking it down. Like all the nuanced details are what are important, like lapse rates, you know, lower level shear, upper level shear, mid level shear, how they all play together, how different thermos play together, and how all that goes into a tornado or SRH. You know, you can have like 500 joules per kilogram, which typically wouldn't be enough for a tornado. But if you have a lot of lower level shear, then, you know, that might not be as big of an issue because, you know, lower level, like if you have a lot of storm relative helicity, that can add to the buoyancy of the air. And help storms convect and become mature and tap into the overall shear environment. Also, Cameron Nixon is really smart. I watch a lot of his videos. They like, honestly, their knowledge just goes beyond the textbook. And also just pattern recognition. I've been doing this for 2 years or 3 years now. Well, interesting thing here. Not sure if that is a legitimate signal, but just given how they've been warning these storms, this would probably get a tornado warning. I don't see a debris signature on it. And just given how broad the circulation, having it randomly tighten like that might be a little bit of an erroneous signal there, but it's kind of too much of a mess to really know what's going on in here. I'll keep an eye on that. I got a feeling though it's going to go away probably by like the next scan or two, but if it gets a little bit stronger, we'll see. Yeah, Convective Chronicles is the GOAT. Oh, Dan C's back. Where have you been? It's been so long. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. AI to replace meteorologists? It could happen. You know, people talk about you know, oh, it would never will because humans like humans. It knows how to suck you in. It's not only studying like little random facts and stuff that you ask it, but it's also studying human nature. It's learning how to manipulate your brain to like it. Because as soon as you start using it, it tries to keep you there forever. What do you think about being a meteorologist? I think if you want to do it, go for it. I know the typical route is kind of DS. I won't say the word because I want to be a little bit more friendly family. But I mean, if you go into like broadcast, the pay is kind of terrible. And that industry is dying. You have a high likelihood within the next 5 to 10 years of getting fired. So like NWS is pretty good, but they only have so many slots. You know, doing your own thing, like on YouTube, that's a good route, I guess. That's like the best route right now, in my opinion, but that's hard to break through as well. That requires so many more skills than just being a meteorologist. You've got to have, you know, graphics design. You've got to have, communication skills, like broadcasting skills. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to make thumbnails, read analytics on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. You got to learn how to hype and sell things and always be wrong. That's an important skill if you want to be the best. Can't learn that in college. All right, let's go check on our latest scans. Yeah, still very broad circulation. And yeah, as I thought, that was probably an erroneous signal. It just completely disappeared. You want human interaction all the time, but what happens when you can't tell the difference? You watch a live stream and you can't tell if it's a human or not. If you find out it's AI, are you going to care? No. If it's funny and keeps your attention, keeps that dopamine flowing, you'll stay. That's why I just try not to. I mean, thankfully it's not at that level yet, but it will get there. Also, a lot of rain is falling on this storm, by the way. We're probably getting some pretty high precipitation amounts out of this. Let me see if we have any flooding yet. Yeah, we do have a flash flood warning over here near Ashley, just to the west of Monango. That's going to be for radar indicated flooding. So not 100% sure if we're getting like water rescues or anything like that yet. But I would, certainly keep your eyes on those. Keep your eyes on those creeks if you live out over here in South Dakota near Monango and Ashley. Everyone thinks AI can't take your job until it does. Yeah. Hard labor is going to be good until robots become a thing. But after that, everybody's cooked because robots will be powered by AI. So they will quickly learn how to take your job. Yeah. Helps AI. And y'all didn't even know that. So this is a classic. I'm just kidding. Helps a real human. Wink, wink. Imagine though, an AI firefighter, if that might be a little bit tougher. Those jobs are probably okay. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, an AI could put on, or a robot can put on a fire suit. Do you have some little bubblers down over here near Oneida? Not terrible cloud tops. It's actually some of the larger cloud tops I've seen in a while. Also, we have this storm over here near Hot Springs as well. This will probably won't be overly tornadic, but some 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds can't be ruled out with this as it moves towards Hot Springs, South Dakota. Above the red box is anti-cyclonic nature to the storm. Yeah, you typically get weird things like this. Actually, right here is anti-cyclonic up there as well. But you typically get like weird wind patterns inside of these massive blobs of precipitation. There's a lot of force going up and coming down in different speeds in a lot of random areas of the storm, and all those kind of combined, all those kind of combining, you can get all sorts of little swirlies inside of there, either cyclonic or anti-cyclonic. It looks like they have continued this tornado warning, and it expires in the next 26 minutes. Still an area here of some pretty broad circulation. This over here seems a little bit contaminated to me. I don't think that's a legitimate signal, but we'll see if it's still there on the next scan. And also for our severe thunderstorm warning, now is up to 1.5 inch hail. That's probably more over here north of Forbes, right there. But down here, 60-mile-per-hour winds are probably likely over there near Long Lake, South Dakota. That's in northern South Dakota. It already controls half of your job. Wow. You should make a Discord server. I have one, actually. One of the mods could post a Discord link in the chat. I should have linked my Discord during the tsunami. That was a flub. Weather is kind of boring right now. Probably for you, but for people that live over here south of Monango, it's not boring. It's pretty intense. Although, to be fair, it's pretty broad circulation. But I'm sure the storm looks pretty crazy from the ground. If only we had cameras. Do we have cameras? I haven't even checked. Probably should check. I don't think I think there's a reason I haven't searched for it, because I'm pretty sure North Dakota doesn't have live traffic cameras. Yeah, they don't have live traffic cameras. They're just the picture cams. Weather-wise, have future radar? They do not yet. I don't know what's taking them so long to bring in models. They must be trying to make it right. It's better to have a good model programmed and to get it out early, you know what I'm saying? Dang, this might be a, well, I guess you can't call it a blue sky bust, but this might be a cloudy sky bust. It is getting cloudy again. Pretty cloudy. You can't really see much breaks in those clouds, and we're still haven't really seen much of improvement of our thermodynamics. Sure, we should get rid of the elevator. Oh, the elevator music? I mean, I don't see why you have a problem with it. It's just music, dude. Calm down. Just enjoy it. Learn to like it. It's pretty groovy if you let it in. Just let it into your soul. Stop resisting. You have one more question? Sure, go ahead and ask. On the hurricane models, it shows major hurricane hitting the southeast. Is that true? No. I would have had a video about it today if it was. Technically, here's the deal. Is it true is not really the right question to be asking. Could it eventually be something that happens? With any of these waves? I guess you could technically try to make an argument of that. But the thing is that we just don't know. What is this? What is happening? Oh, what did I do? Whoops, I put that in the wrong area. There we go. And then do that. There we go. Okay. And then make this like this. You can make the argument that a major hurricane could happen at any moment. But it's not really, it's impossible to be right. But yeah, I mean, if you bring the GFS out into La La Land, you almost always find a strong hurricane. You see, like this one is at hour 132, and then by the time we get into hour 180, we have the GFS doing its La La Land shenanigans. You know, you don't like look at always when you're looking at models, look at the forecast hour. Once you're past 120, you can't really trust it. And it always spits out these wonky scenarios. Like for this guy over here, you know, it's in the range of accuracy. We can use our deterministic models. You can see that, you know, Mike gets a little spinny thing off of the South Carolina and North Carolina coast, but that actually moves away from land, you know. And then you go in the Euro, same deal. Maybe something develops out there, but then it moves kind of like what Dexter did. So it's possible, but it's pretty weak. You know, but that's really the only thing that's in the time frame of accuracy that is on our radar right now. That wave that is, you know, the wave that's like out over here near the Sargasso Sea, it's just too far out. By the time it gets to here, that is 5 days away. So, you know, we don't really have a good picture beyond that of where this is going, you know, after that. So still some question marks there, but our averages are pointing towards a more northern track away from the United States. But again, averages do shift, especially over a 5-day period. So it's more of just something to mention. All right, latest scan out here. Still have some broad circulation on our storm in between Menango and Ellendale. Make sure you guys are still continuing to be in your safe spots as that storm approaches. And no tight or concerning rotations yet. No debris signatures, but still worth respecting as that broad circulation could tighten up eventually. You have your own weather channel and you went live because I was live and I ended it at the 25-minute mark because you got bored. Well, you know, maybe it's not for you, man. It's not about boredom or unboredom. It's just about communicating the threats when they need to be. Also, they have turned this into a 70-mile-per-hour wind warning out over here near Ellendale and Oaks. So a little bit stronger winds now with this storm, a little bit higher of a chance for some power outages. Yeah, I mean, like, am I going to go live for a 60-mile-per-hour windstorm? Probably not. Am I going to go live for a 70-mile-per-hour windstorm? Probably not. Very rarely do I go live for only an 80-mile-per-hour windstorm if it's an isolated storm. Really just depends. You know, if it's out in the middle of nowhere, I'm definitely not going live. If you got something going towards a population center, I might go live. It just depends. Really just depends. My criteria is pretty up and down. You know, if it looks like a tornado may happen, I usually go live. That's usually like my main criteria. Like this one looked like it was going to have tight circulation for a little bit, but it quickly, you know, became a broad circulation. And we do actually have a pretty darn dangerous tornado threat if these storms can get going out here. But I'm telling you, it looks more and more unlikely by the minute. But we'll be here for a little bit. But I'm not sure how much longer I'll stay on, to be honest. If this tornado warning gets expired, might just consider ending the stream and then coming back on if something else happens. That's kind of like my headspace on it. I don't know. Yeah, this is what it looks like out there. That is the opposite of stormy. It is just looking murky. You never want murky, especially when you're talking about storms that are struggling with capping inversion. Yeah, no, I mean, storms could definitely get started as that cold pool hits, you know, a little bit better instability. Cold pool or a little frontal boundary can be enough forcing for more storms to fire. But, you know, if they're gonna immediately, if that's the case, they're gonna immediately transition into more of a linear line and not really have any discrete nature to them, especially if they're still in poor thermals. Is it rotating? Is what rotating? The tornado warning storm? It's got broad circulation on it. Nothing tight or concerning. This is very, very broad rotation. They've just been keeping the tornado warning on it for a while, just out of caution. As technically, our wind shear environment up here is pretty nuts. It is pretty nuts. Even with the weak thermos are thankfully keeping this thing from producing. But I mean, if we had, 6 to 7 lapse rates right now, we would probably have multiple strong tornadoes in progress. That's the kind of sheer environment that we have around this. Still at around 400 SRH. And that still extends down into this corridor here. Kind of like that. Our 400 SRH is kind of like that. So there's a lot of spin out here, but the thermos, there's a lot that you need other than spin that is just not there right now. Just want to say I'm already finding it a lot easier to see the smoke on Saturday after your advice. There you go. Yeah, with more practice. Like, you see how you got these white clouds here, generally over in this area, and then you see how it gets hazy. Can you point on the map where the smoke is underneath this map, underneath this line? That's like, I wouldn't say, I guess you could say that's expert level sport or smoke spotting. Imagine if it doesn't matter how much cape there is. I mean, you could have like maybe if your environment is completely capped out, you usually don't have much cape near a storm anyways, because the cold pool has already sapped all the energy out of the atmosphere. But I mean, like, if you have poor thermos, you could have 7,000 joules per kilogram over here, but an outflow boundary extending well out in front of the storms themselves. The outflow boundary might hit that instability and cause a widespread damaging wind event. But the tornado threat will be relatively low. Unless you have really good, really, you can get pretty strong surges of the cold pool that can sometimes lead to tornado genesis, especially in these higher shear environments. Near Pierre. Yeah, these are interesting. They are technically trying down there. That is a little area where we have better lapse rates. All the way down there near Pierre. Our 6 lapse rate line is still kind of generally in this area. And this storm is kind of sitting in 6 or 7 lapse rates near Pierre. But so yeah, you could make an argument. And actually the environment is less, there's less convective inhibition down here as well. Do we have any forcing down there? Yeah, there's no forcing down there, so that's one thing against it. Probably around 200 SRH around it, so it could try to produce a tornado, depending on if there's a boundary down here. So technically, if this storm could mature, it might be something that we have to watch. Hurricanes spawn usually on the weaker side, Bradley, but they can spawn stronger tornadoes if you get a lot of dry air wrapping around the center of the hurricane. Can I check Hollywood, South Carolina? Sure. Hollywood, South Carolina. Oh yeah, you guys got a severe thunderstorm warning down there. Yeah, some pretty strong winds coming into Kiowa Island, about to be into Foley Beach as well. 60-mile-per-hour winds are the main threat. It seems like there is likely no hail inside of this storm. Yeah, the strongest winds are probably south of Hollywood, but you still could get probably to 50 to 60 there near Hollywood. A little bit of a line of our Boeing segment there. Also, just of note, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning over here in eastern Orlando, heading towards Wedgefield, Buffalo, and Lake Mary Jane. It's moving off to the east towards eventually Titusville and Scottsmore. Warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe some small hail inside of there. Oh, wow. There we go. Our tornado warning has thankfully expired. Milton tornado. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the dry air that wrapped around Milton was the best case scenario if you're going to try to get a tropical tornado outbreak. That's about as About as favorable as it gets. By the way, 70-mile-per-hour winds are likely moving into Ellendale right now. After Ellendale is going to be Frederick, Hecla, and Oaks. About New Haven. Let me see. New Haven, Wyoming. No storms near you guys. If that's the right New Haven. If it is, you do have a storm to your south, but nothing crazy nearby you. It seems like if we do get convective initiation out here, it's going to be more near like the Rapid City area down near Hot Springs. I can check throughout the night to see if anything tries to develop later on. Yeah, it looks like you should be good to go throughout the night. Should be a nice quiet night. Might hear some rumbles of thunder in the distance. Longest we've done is almost 24 hours. Yes. And it's been a long time since we've been live for a while. I mean, I've done like 16-hour streams before. I've done 24-hour streams before. I don't know. I go live a lot. Just depends on if it's needed or not. And it also depends on what's happening the next day. Like if there's like a major outbreak, it's going to happen multiple days in a row. 24-hour streams are really not a smart idea because then you just get wiped out by the first day and you're not going to be able to be there for the second day. Same with hurricanes. You got to kind of pace yourself. It's kind of hard to make the argument to go live for 24 hours, especially if it's something like, you know, like a first, you know, you got to do long forecast as it approaches, right? Then you get landfall. And then you gotta, you know, do the coverage for the landfall. And then even as it goes inland, it could have a little bit of a tornado threat that needs to be covered. And then if it goes up to the north, even as a dying storm interacts with some drier air, you know, you could get another set of tornadoes happen again and again. Like that can happen. And so a hurricane can end up being like a 4 to 5 day coverage. And if you waste all of your energy on the first 2 days, you won't be able to cover the rest. So it's really hard to kind of balance, you know, how long to go live or not. 24 hours though. I think that was just one event, but I might have screwed myself over. Like I've pushed myself too far sometimes at the wrong times. Like for the Lake City tornado, I forget what happened. But like I went live like after it was on the ground because I think I did too much coverage the night before, and then I got like a small amount of sleep, and I needed to go back to sleep, or I think I got like a panic attack because I was just like so sleep deprived, and so I had to take like a nap, and I woke up like right as everything was going crazy. That one I regret, but yeah, it's hard to like get it right because you never know when your body's gonna try to give up on you. It's different every time. Sometimes it's the voice first. Sometimes it's you know, their overall mental clarity. Like if you can't really think straight, you could put people more in danger. So you know, you have to be, you know, aware enough of your own body's processes so that you don't push yourself to endangering other people. Because if you're like losing mental clarity, you could make some mistakes reading radar, and that can be pretty detrimental. Do I remember the April 27th, 2011 tornado outbreak? Yes. Yeah, I lived in Madison County, and we lost power, I think, for like 5 days. The one day the RFS model was a good model to follow. Yeah. Those Broyles W. Yeah, we still have a lot of convection kind of like pushing back into this area, but still no like organized, you know, supercells. Just to, you know, whenever we get a storm fire, it like quickly merges with the line. Yeah, I still live in Northern Alabama. Did I hear about the 2020 derecho? Yes. That was the one that like went through like Iowa and Illinois, right? And like Indiana. Is that right? I think like didn't like Iowa get the worst? Dog cam? Ain't got no puppers nearby. Boyle's doing a wheelie and he falls in his back. Does that exist? Is David Schlottenhauer good? No. Dude's literally crazy. During a live stream, David Schlottenhauer learned about a news story where 23 people got shot in a school and died, and he said, "Oh, that's less viewers for me." That was his first reaction. There's something not right with that dude. And he clickbaits like crazy. Like no thoughts and prayers to families. He immediately thought of himself. Cause I think he's just a psychopath. I don't know. Like it takes a weird kind of mental state to just clickbait like what he does and what Direct Weather does, where they're just randomly put, or like Weatherman Plus does, where they're just randomly putting like or like category 5 hurricanes just like in different areas of a map when there's like no chance, and they always highlight the worst case scenario to scare the pants off of people. Like you have like the Ryan Halls and the max velocities that definitely push the envelope of what should be acceptable, and in a lot of cases crosses a line. But like Direct Weather, David Schlottenhauer, Weatherman Plus, they're like beyond the line. They clickbait everything like an insane degree. New update on this storm over here near Leola. We are now talking about the potential here for some 2-inch hail. Wow. Near Long Lake in Leola. So if you live in that area, make sure that you are indoors and well away from windows. That could be enough to potentially put some dinks into your window. What's going on with Storm Runner Media? Are they ever going to go live? Oh, maybe in 55 seconds. Should we just sit here and watch the timer? Oh, it's waiting. On the thumbnail. Yeah, he does that every thumbnail. It's horrible. Yeah, it like there's definitely a line. And I think max velocities and Ryan's whole purpose is to test where that line is at all times. I think max velocity and Ryan definitely cross over the line. I honestly, I don't even know if Max crosses the line. I just don't get his strategy. His thumbnail strategy is super simple. It's like, oh no, right? And then he just colors half of the United States in red. He does that every thumbnail. Like, you're not going to be getting any storms or anything major weather, but you're going to be in that red blob, and he's going to have an arrow pointed at you. Like, I don't get that strategy. I don't really approve of that message. But, you know, it's weird. But that's more amorphous. Like, you could probably slither your way out of that and try to justify it. I guess. But then then you have like the Davids and the Weatherman Plus and the Direct Weathers that just put hurricanes all over the map. Like, I think Direct Weather will say there's an Arctic blast coming in like summer. Is there one pro against that con? That's the thing. Like, in my head, it doesn't matter. If you have to lie to get people to click on videos, like, because think about it like this. Like, if you live in Alabama and you're in that red blob, how do you think you're going to feel when you watch the forecast and he doesn't even mention your state or look at it? Like, even just from like, that's going to lose trust. Like, just like, it doesn't matter how good your forecast is. If people are tuning in to watch it that shouldn't even be watching it. Like, if you're like, oh no, and the main threat's like over here, but you're like bubbling in the entire United States, you're gonna have like all of these states that are like, well, why is my area in the friggin' red? Like, even if you just, you know, take the morality out of it, you're gonna have a lot of people that are like, why the heck was I in the red blob? A little interesting signal over here from this storm. Tiny little area of rotation, maybe trying to get started on it. It still looks elevated and outflow dominant, so Not super confident that that's going to be able to turn anything, but again, SRH is pretty elevated. Yeah, that's the line there. I believe that's the line. And then you have like, and then you have people that like not only try to test the line, but also try to jump way over it and start throwing like hurricanes near Brooklyn Park. One time Weatherman Plus put a legit category 5 hurricane in Canada. That was wild. All right, new update over here near Clement, down into Frederick. Still talking about that potential. Well, actually down here near Frederick and Hecla. Still have 60-mile-per-hour winds possible, but up here to the north, still warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, and then down over here near Leola, 2-inch hail, still a problem. That's about to move in along lake here, probably within a couple minutes. Then Oaks, Lennon, and Hecla are probably going to be impacted here in the next 20 minutes. You're going to make them click. That's what I'm saying. I like to practice red blob responsibility. I use red blobs too, so don't get me wrong. You know, red blobs, they are good. Like, look how many red blobs I have here. They do get attention. But I don't put them in places like where there's not a risk. So I do practice red blob responsibility. We need to make that like a hashtag. Have you been misusing your red blobs? For no clickbait? Yeah, no problem. It's really not that hard. You just have to accept that you're not going to get a bunch of views. Thankfully, we can go live and still reach people. If not, you guys would have never heard of me before. I'd be over there trying to practice red blob responsibility and no one would care. So I do appreciate the fact that you guys have found me in the first place. .6 earthquake in LA. That ain't nothing. That happens almost every day. I used to live in LA. We would get those tiny little earthquakes all the time, and people would look at each other. It was like, was that an earthquake? And you'd be like, yeah, I think so. And then you would never mention it again. Although that 3.0 earthquake near like New York City, I bet you they were like freaking out. Like what happened in northern Alabama. I think we got like a 4.1 a decade ago in northern Alabama. And everybody was like, huh? Did y'all feel that? That was crazy. Which it was kind of crazy because like a lot of people down there have never felt an earthquake before. Tis but a scratch. Yeah, just a flesh wound. How's it look for Brookings? Let me see. Looking pretty good for now. As long as these storms don't really, I mean, there is definitely still an argument to be made that we are going to eventually see convective initiation further to the south. But like a lot of these storms depend on these storms firing in the first place, which on our HRRR, they're supposed to be firing by around 7 p.m. But it's already 7 p.m. and they haven't even tried yet. So they're really like 2 hours behind here. But we do have this one storm down over here near Pierre. If that can get its act together, then you can make the argument that you might see something over there near Brookings. But again, we have a distinct lack of large supercell here. So it might just be a damaging wind event more for like northeastern South Dakota going into Minnesota. I had to look at the earthquake as you didn't feel anything. Yeah, let me look it up. USGS. Oh, yeah. And there's one in Riverside, a 3.5 earthquake. Other earthquakes to note. Oh, wow. There was a 0.85. Yeah, there was actually a 2.7 earthquake near New York City again. What's the biggest earthquake we've had today? 5.7. That's the biggest earthquake that's happened on Earth today, I think. That's how that works. Some of those, by the way, happened where that last big one happened. 5.2. There's still like aftershocks happening off of the coast of Russia over there. It's still pretty active, believe it or not. Big YouTuber. I'm not a big YouTuber. Why are there big? It's all HARP, guys. Yeah, HARP controls earthquakes now. Weather conspiracies are boring. It's time to move to something else, like earthquake conspiracy theories. Weather conspiracy theories are so 2005. A little interesting area of rotation there, but I feel like that's probably like the same kind of contamination we saw a little while ago. So I'm still going to keep an eye on it, but it's probably going to go away within a couple of scans. Oh, that's near Oaks. We'll be keeping an eye on it. Definitely the chillest. Yeah. That's all I care about. What's going on over here on Page's stream? They're moving. Wait, no. Storm Hunter Media went live. Oh, they're near that one little storm. That one little convective attempt. That's where all the storm chasers are going. Let's listen in. They had the storm chaser radar, our radio. Tuning into 103.5 Storm Chaser Radio. And I'm your host, Evan Freiberger.
Yeah, my car is rating at 85, but yeah.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
Than a lot of places.
That's what that little blip looks like.
20 bomb. Thank you so much, Thomas. With 20
Does have a little bit of a overspreading top to it.
As well, guys.
Was it Heaven Fry? No. No, my first rap name when I was younger was E Fry. Super basic and lame, I know.
But we do have a really nice environment, chat. It's starting to develop here, and the supercell will be able to take advantage of that environment.
Yeah, if it does
Only
mature,
time will tell, but
definitely
it's looking
can.
Pretty good right now. For that, to say the least.
This could be the storm of the day. It has a very limited time to get started, though. Again, that capping inversion is going to really start to build in here. It's actually, folks, it's actually already building in.
Yeah, it's up to 45,000.
It might be too late, but we'll see.
Bouncing back and forth.
Where that storm is, there's about 50 to 75 CIN, and that only gets worse as we go into the nighttime. So it could be too late. We'll see. But right on the line, it would have to explode like in size right now.
Which is away from the storm, so I don't know what happened. Oh, he missed a turn. I see.
Okay, Larry. Larry's got bars apparently. I think he's Sam for subscribing.
Turn was missed, chat.
There's like when there's no chatter on the Storm Chaser radio, that means there's no storms. Thank you, Carol B, for the 10 euros. Thank you so much. Your tablet is bonkers. What's going on with it?
Freddy for the last few days, chat.
Do I get the meso analysis page? There. You go to this website.
It's fun when you can caravan with people. Oh my goodness, look at that storm, chat.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty healthy.
Now, guys.
That actually looks kind of healthy. It's got a pretty wide base. That might do it. And thank you, RM, for becoming an EF1 member.
There's your storm, chat. There it is. You guys now have a full-fledged view of it.
That's it. In all its glory. Look at those sun rays coming out on the right side.
definitely a nice looking storm, guys. Make sure you guys are liking the stream, sharing the stream, hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, doing all that.
Yeah. Do that out here too. Do that here too. We'll just let the storm chasers say it, and then I'll be like, and I can just be like ditto. So I don't have to say it. Restaurant called Evans Fries and Burgers. It's more catchy if you say burgers and fries. Evans Burgers and Fries. Well, I've thought about it, but we've had generations of fry burgers and still no fry burger shops have been created. That little signal is, yeah, it disappeared. But yeah, still broad elevated convection up here. Still, though, a damaging wind threat of potentially up to 70-mile-per-hour winds now about to head into Oaks and Leaden, probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So make sure you guys are continuing to be indoors and away from windows and expect power outages. Over here near Leola also could see up to 2-inch hail. Also got a severe thunderstorm warning over here in Montana. What's going on over here? What is this storm doing? Interesting. Yeah, there's like no SRH over there. Huh. Decent amount of 3 Cape though, and 3 Cape and vorticity. So maybe you could get like one of those brief tornadoes out over there if there's like a boundary nearby. Let's see what that means. Oh man, look at the storm now. Oops. You can see it a little bit better. And it's got some, it's got a little amble on it. It is trying.
I do have to wonder if these roads will eventually turn to gravel at some point. At some point, guys, I wonder if it's going to.
Fries and burgers, hey, those are good. How old am I? I'm 31. I'm a boomer.
Excuse me. It's not looking too bad, chat. I think it's just a start. It needs some more time.
It's graduating from kindergarten. This storm, yeah, it's a baby storm. It's still got a little binky on it, but if it can get up into high school and eventually into college, we might have to worry about this thing.
We got ranger
Yeah, this storm is in 7 lapse rates right now, so it could definitely undergo some pretty explosive growth if the CIN doesn't keep it at bay.
Yeah, I like how wide this base is getting. It's a nice wide base.
This could be one of those storms though that actually does get its act together, but then goes outflow dominant pretty quickly. But it could also, I mean, you could make an argument still. Yeah, there's around 200 storm relative helicity around this storm. You could still make an argument that it could try to produce.
a nice thick updraft.
It is possible still. The only thing that's really against it right now is the fact that we do have a surface inversion building around it. That is really the only thing that's against it. Everything else is kind of good, or at least for storms, not for people. And that'd be near. This storm is near Pierre and Highmore, South Dakota.
I was getting ready to just go chase the elevated crap. I was hedging the elevated crap in that line, and when I saw that convergence over by here, I was like, wait a second. Then I turned around and started heading south. There's also that base is starting to lower right on this road due west to me and get a little bit of scud here. Really, I can see that I'm about to turn on
The storm really doesn't have much precipitation yet. You can barely even tell there's a rain shaft on this thing yet.
Where's like going up? Yeah, I was just talking about that. It's getting lowering now.
All right, Chad, we might be in for a go time right here, guys.
No,
Might
it's
be in for some go time.
It's not go time yet. Come on now. This thing. Well, no, he's saying go time for like the storm could grow. Yeah, that's what he's saying. It might be grow time. Yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning out over here for 1.5-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving off towards Leola. If you live near Leola, make sure that you guys are indoors and away from windows. We'll check back down over here into South Carolina. Yeah, it looks like they did allow that all the severe thunderstorm warnings down over there to expire. Man, look how quiet it is. I mean, other than this storm, it is so quiet. out there across the United States. Let's look at our composite. And we got a couple of thunderstorms over here into Indiana and south of Louisville near Elizabethtown. Got a lot of convection over here in Florida. Decent little rain thunderstorms near Mobile. Another one north and east of Crestview, and another one north and west of Slidell. Interesting. Fierce and fear. That's a tough argument to say that those rhyme. Fierce and fear.
To like blanking.
AI cover? Absolutely not. If you put me in an AI cover, I may delete my channel.
I bet you guys love that look too, honestly, chat. I bet you guys love this look.
I mean, to be honest, that updraft is looking a little scraggly.
Oops, my bad, chat.
It's starting to look a little scraggly, a little skinny at the bottom.
What you mean, Jordan? I see a little bit of slow rotating scud.
Oh man, they're really hyping this storm up.
I know. I don't know what's happening on that hole over there. I know that side's been splitting off to the north. I don't know what's happening with this guy on the
When aren't there storms in Florida this time of year? Probably never. I mean, yeah, it's just a daily occurrence.
And we got a slow one in front of us. Go figure.
It rhymes if you want it to rhyme. If you say it with like with some slang, it works. Like fear and fear. I don't know. It is pretty though. It is. It's a cool. You know, as of right now, it's a non-threatening good boy storm.
Steph, good to see you. We definitely have
It's not severe warned.
that's for sure.
It's not producing a tornado. There's no hail on it. Barely any lightning. So it's a good boy storm for now. But so we can sit here and be like, yeah, that's nice. That's a cool looking storm. But as soon as it starts to get big, if it does,
Code red, you say, huh?
we're gonna start making fun of it. We're gonna start calling the storm fat. Because we don't want it to feel good about itself. We don't want the storm to be feeling itself. Very pretty clouds. I agree. Little update over here near Oaks and Ludden. Still talking about up to 70-mile-per-hour winds possible coming through the area right now. After that, if we do get an extension, we're going to be talking about Foreman, Gwinner, Cogswell, and Brampton and Havana, North Dakota, with the potential either for 70-mile-per-hour winds or they might downgrade it to 60-mile-per-hour winds. Back down over here near Leola, we're still talking about the potential here for 2-inch hail. And that's going to be coming pretty close to Leola, South Dakota. And then south and west of Leola, South Dakota, I do have this part of the storm down here with some 60-mile-per-hour winds and that ping pong ball sized hail potential. Hey, it's Lola. Hopefully all is well, Lola. It's been a minute. Been a little minute. Isn't it? Do I like brisket? Yes. If it's good. It is possible to really mess up a brisket. It's hard. If you have the right tools, it can be relatively easy to make an okay brisket, but to make a good brisket.
It's starting to rain a little bit.
Uh-oh, guys, it's raining. We got rotating raindrops. Slowly rotating raindrops. Y'all see that? Oh, that raindrop. Maybe add a little bit more spin.
We're gonna head off to the east a little bit. You got the dust cover down there, right?
His violin. What are you gonna become, like a violin master? If so, please let us know when you,
Yeah, don't
or
like
like
the
give us a
hole.
video of you performing. That'd be pretty cool. Thanks for covering your home
What's the
state.
U
No
about,
problem.
Nerd Mom? What's the U about?
Yeah, you just gotta take your time with the brisket. Exactly. Low and slow.
I wonder if this storm is like going through a split and it's kind of shredding itself, and I don't know if it's gonna have enough or not
Yeah, the storm doesn't look super healthy right now. You can hear that they're saying the storm is shredding itself. They are noticing that too. What's up, Moderate Motley?
Yeah, I don't know if I like the holes in the
How's Virginia? Have you been seeing any fun Virginia clickbait yet for all those tropical systems?
I wish it just didn't look so
I think there was one run of the GFS like 300 hours out that brought like a category 3 near Virginia.
We need something
I think you,
unstable, not
oh, that's
stable.
Christ gives gifts. Sorry, I said Chris gives gifts. I thank you, Christ gives
I was waiting
gifts
you
for
guys
giving
to say
gifts.
that.
For the 5 memberships. If you guys get a, if you guys get a gifted membership, make sure you're thanking Christ in the chat. Thank you, Jesus.
See, it's been a while since I've seen an updraft like this, guys. It's been a while since I've seen the updraft like this.
Look at the gap on this updraft now.
Oh no, they're kind of hyping this storm up a little bit. It's a little bit premature, but it does look somewhat healthy. It has a pretty wide base. And this is what it looks like on radar right now. Not looking too crazy yet. Let's go look at the echo top, see where we're sitting at here. Yeah, still kind of a shallow storm. We're only at about 40,000 feet. You know, if we're gonna have like a, you know, a good indication that we're having like some serious convection that will probably last for a while, probably need to get up into those 50,000 foot cloud top. Let's see how long it's been sitting around that. Yeah, it's been struggling to get past, you know, up into 50,000 feet for a while. So still kind of a baby storm. We shall see. It's splitting. Can't really tell right now on radar. That's their theory right now. They're saying that they think that it might be splitting, but it's possible. Definitely has a cloud base to it though. I've seen storms like this though fall apart. So I'm still not convinced,
Storm,
but we'll
guys.
see.
It's trying right here. It's trying.
40 more subs until 93,000. Well, what are y'all waiting for? Hit that sub button. Let's get there. Just so we can be like,
I'm just
ooh,
not
big
sure about that
number.
hole on the left, but I think we can figure that one out. Let's go, Chad. We got 411 likes. Let's go, guys. Watch out for these people right here. Oh, that might have been Reed in the dump. No, I don't think that was. No, that might have been RT. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Well, Chad, I just learned there's a new fire in Hawaii.
What? Like a big one? Not noticeable. Man, look at all these little swirls out here, though. Yeah, that could be technically bad if this tropical system is near Hawaii and there's a fire happening. I'll have to check that out. Let me see if Watch Duty has anything. I don't even know if they go all the way out to Hawaii or not. Yeah, good news. It looks like that lake fire that had some evacuations near Clear Lake, California, have been allowed to. Yeah, there was a fire, a vegetation fire, 90 acres, about 18 hours ago, but that's been 90% contained. Yeah, nothing popping up on Watch Duty, so I'm not sure if that's. I don't know. You said there was a fire in Hawaii, so trying to figure it out. Yeah, brush fire apparently near Kanapali Hawaii sent plumes of smoke into the sky on Monday, prompting a highway closure. Which today's Tuesday, so that was yesterday. Yeah, that fire's already put out. Yeah, that's the fire that he was talking about. That fire's already been contained, thankfully. Well, that's why she joined, because we said Leola, and then the algorithm served up my live stream to her. I was like, they just extended this severe thunderstorm warning off to the east for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's great news. Lisbon, Elliott, Gwinner, Foreman, Brampton, and Havana and Rutland all need to be indoors and away from windows. But thankfully, we're not talking about 70-mile-per-hour winds anymore for that. We still got some potential down here. Oh, looks like they also downgraded this one from 2-inch hail to ping pong ball sized hail, heading towards Leola. Hey, look at this. Not as red anymore on radar. So less precipitation. The storm is struggling. That convective, but it could still eventually pop up. There, you could still technically make an argument, but I mean, we got an hour tops. This storm's got an hour tops. Again, the convective inhibition is building in big time. And it's going to do that pretty much from now until tonight. What the heck? Hugs? What's going on out here? Got a bunch of huggers.
That's definitely a really nice, pretty view.
Oh, that's Freddie and his dad. Aw.
I just can't go outside the car.
Oh, look at the sunflower field. That is so cool. I've never seen one of those, like, even from a live setting. That's really cool.
With my camera, so you guys gotta stay in the car.
Has anybody in chat tried sunflower seeds before? Oh yeah, there's Tanner Charles, Freddie McKinney, and Mr. John McKinney. All smelling sunflowers underneath a growing supercell or a growing storm, maybe growing storm.
What's your plan, Dane?
You've grown sunflower seeds before? That's fun. That's the life, smelling sunflower seeds. That'd be pretty cool. What if that was like your job? The only thing I'd be concerned about would be
All right, chat. I'm still here. Don't worry.
would be like
I'm
bees.
still here. You guys are just unsupervised because I'm out there talking to the others.
What are you doing, Mama?
Don't worry.
Protect your bone. What are you doing? Someone's
Stay in your car. Keep your hands. What? You guys want to go out?
You getting
I know.
hung?
The phone just doesn't let me.
All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you here with Stormwater Media for just a second. I need to feed my doggo real quick. Give me a second. Okay.
This storm that we're on, or whatever the hell it was, is sitting at a 7 low-level lapse rate, too. The environment looks good. It's got another,
Okay, I'm back.
updraft that I'm just watching it, like, explode, too. I don't really know.
I come back bearing dog.
Mergers and everything. It shouldn't be dying.
Look at that right there. I don't know if that's dying. That's right there. That's a nice looking updraft.
I mean, you're under the storm. What are you talking about? You can't. I guess you could see technically the bottom of the updraft. I have dog. Look at my dog. Just kidding. This is my mom's dog. This is Yo-Yo Bean. He's a little sweetie baby. Hey, Yo-Yo Bean. Oh. He got me. Yes, you did. He's shaking. He's a little lap dog. Whenever I get the pleasure. Oh, wait. Look at, yeah, okay. So this is the better. Yeah, look, that updraft is struggling. That storm's falling apart. It does help to be looking at the updraft from far away, not from under it, because this is a totally different perspective. This is Paigey Tornado. She's on the same storm now. That updraft be struggling. That does not look like a storm that is about to pop off. Yeah, it's my parents' dog. They're going to the beach for a week, and I get to watch this little sweetie Yo-Yo Bean. Mr. Jojo Bean. Hi, mister. What are you doing? You're shaking. You're always scared of little son. Yeah, he just sits on my lap on the couch when I'm on my phone, and he'll just sit there. If I'm sitting there, he's just sitting there. Chazzy doesn't like to sit on my lap, so it's nice to have a little lap dog once every now and then. I still do polls. It just depends. Like, I don't do them just like I don't do them as much, but like if there's like an important question that comes up, or if I'm like curious, we still do polls. Yeah, as you can tell, this storm is a struggling. Oh, look. Convective initiation is all of a sudden happening over here near Selby now. Big old cluster just fired up there. Again, not sure if these are going to really amount to much. I mean, they could definitely merge with the complex, but I think that cold pool is running into them. I don't think this is, I'm not sure whether or not these will be more supercellular or not. It might be already too late. We'll see. We are like kind of running that line of being able to declare this over and done with, and still technically having being able to make an argument that we could see something still. By the way, over here near Webster, 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail is coming y'all's way. Make sure you guys are indoors and away from windows. Let's do a poll on it. Poll on what? Poll on whether we should do more polls. There we go. Poll is active. Let your voice be heard. This storm right here is having a little bit of a cold pool surge, which means there's a little bit of an RFD pushing through here. Might have to keep an eye on that. Again, we have pretty poor thermals right now, and they're only going to get worse going in throughout the night. But again, they're still around 400 SRH, which is a lot, and that's a lot of spin. Still around this. Actually, it's 500 SRH now around this storm right here. So all the thermals are kind of messy. You could still technically make the argument that this might try to do some shenanigans. So I'd be keeping your eye out on this storm there in Leola. Still kind of like maybe, maybe not type storm though. Can't really say much definites. Yeah, the Selby storms are getting their act together. They are initiating, but I think they might have initiated too late. I think they're initiating because of the forcing of the cold pool boundary rather than, you know, forcing due to They might already be out, or they might be very easily susceptible to becoming outflow dominant. So we'll see. Because as you can see, we're not just getting one storm fire. We are getting multiple fire all in the same spot, which is not as favorable, but we'll see. Radar scope warrior. Yeah, radar scope is still the GOAT in terms of like radar reliability. Cake or pie on your birthday? That should be cake. I don't know one person that has ever asked for a pie, but I'm sure there's a couple. So we'll find out. Yeah, you see how scraggly that updraft looks? Oh, wait, they turned the camera. But on the right side, you see how there's like a lot of little... You can see sunlight like shining on either side of it, or on the left side there. Hopefully they turned the camera back. But I think they're looking at the updrafts that are ongoing there just to the north and west of Pierre. Oh, wow. It's only 64 cake for birthday. Wow. I am surprised. Wouldn't clustering help with low lapse rates? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's only going to make the lapse rates worse. Yeah, you see how that updraft isn't really that thick? It's a little scraggly. Storm is still struggling. There is a storm popping up to its south, though. Maybe that one will do it. I mean, the lapse rates near these storms are like 7 to 8, which is plenty. But the fact that they're struggling means that little capping inversion that's really started to move in now is hurting the storms more than helping at the moment. 62%. Wow. I didn't know so many people eat pies for their birthday. You learn something new. See, that's why polls are important. What is that? It's probably hail contamination, but we'll see how long it lasts. If it lasts for more than a couple scans, it might be something. Oh, okay.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Let's see what they're saying. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 7 miles south of Long Lake. Oh, they're warning this. They might be warning this. That kind of looks like hail contamination to me, but we'll see what it looks like on the next scan, because it just kind of popped up as that hail increased there. But this down here does not look very tornadic, but yeah, we'll see. No debris signature on that. Kind of in a weird spot of the storm where you wouldn't really expect a tornado, but we'll keep an eye on it. If you live just to the west of Leola, make sure you're in your safe spots. But this down here definitely does not have that much rotation on it right now. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, change my overlay back here. And then let me change my title. Definitely make an argument of some storm shenanigans, though. But I got a feeling this storm's going to do something pretty similar to what happened on that northern storm, where it starts off with an interesting signal, and then it just kind of fades as it comes outflow dominant. But maybe can't rule out a brief tornado inside of this still. So would certainly be respecting the storm and being in your safe spots. Yeah, look at these storms down here. They are still struggling. Only 40,000 foot cloud cloud tops. These ones over here near Java, though, south of Java, are definitely making a run for it. They are maturing, so we'll see if they can pull it off. We'll see. Winter, Oklahoma. No, nothing to note there. I do have some, well, actually, a little bit of something there. South and east of Cogswell. Not sure. Let me see how that's progressed here. If that's like a legitimate signal, or if that's one of those things that happened earlier where it was just kind of like very brief. Yeah, that could be legitimate. Could make an argument that that is legitimate rotation. It's not very strong rotation right now, but they might throw a warning on that for forming. There is a little bit of rotation near Gwinner. A little bit. Did I say Oklahoma? Did I? Hopefully I didn't. I might have. Hydrate? Yeah, let me do that. We just got an update on this severe thunderstorm warning still for wind and hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds heading into Webster, South Dakota. Probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes if it does actually hit you guys. It might go just north of Webster, though. All right, let's see if we've got our latest velocity scan. Yeah, I think that was a hail contamination there because it immediately went away on the latest scan. This is pretty much just mainly an outflow dominated storm. They probably should have waited like a scan to make sure. It's really not that tornadic right now. We'll wait. There's still a chance for a brief tornado before it gets to Leola. So I don't think there's many people that live west of Leola. Let me check what the population is on this. Yeah, population of 56. There are some people speckled in here. Hey, Yo-Yo. Are you wanting to come back? You want to just sit on my lap, Yo-Yo Bean? All right, we'll end that poll. Yeah, they probably should have waited on that. Because you like when you see a random increase that doesn't really make sense in a weird portion of the storm, and there's also a lot of hail over it, you know, it's usually a good practice to wait like a scan or two. Who the heck would want pie? I don't know. That's what I thought when somebody said that earlier. Well, we just got a severe thunderstorm warning now on this storm with wind and hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds that's moving off to the east towards Bowdle and Roscoe. Guys need to be indoors and away from windows. We're watching these storms for the potential for some tornadic activity. As they could either have fired just too late or just right before it was too late. It's always hard to know where that line is. So we'll see. These ones down here near Pierre, though, they are falling apart. I think Storm Runner Media is rerouting to the north. Let me go and listen in on their little radar or their radio.
Yeah, we gotta get east in the north, chat.
Yeah.
We gotta get east and north.
Looks like they're going back up to the north for these new storms. Let me see if anybody stayed on these storms. The only other chaser I would think we could use that would be on them would be Jacob McMillan. Nah, he's near Pierre as well. He's like right behind Storm Runner Media.
So the sooner we get east and north, the better, chat. This is all the anvil from this big o storm out here.
So yeah, it seems like people are rerouting further up north. But that is the latest, at least on the storm chasers. Also, Pagey Tornado is also rerouting as well. So it looks like flies to a light bulb. They have seen convective initiation appear and have decided to all start to move further up to the north. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of SRH in this area, 500 to 400 SRH. So you could still technically make the argument that these might try to do something suspicious. I will say these storms are currently sitting in what appear to be 5.5 lapse rates, and the environment is a little bit inhibited. So we shall see. I usually just use regular velocities. I've been watching storms long enough to where I can tell when, you know, a storm has some rotation and it's moving at a certain speed relative to it. Every now and then I will hop over to Radar Omega and just double check, especially if we're dealing like with QLCS event. But yeah, I mean, relative velocities are helpful for sure. You can see even on relative, there's a broad circulation on this storm. But I mean, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but relative velocity is literally just velocities relatives, like just like the uncle of velocities. Could a strong tornado happen? I don't think so, no. I think if we do get a tornado, it'll probably be on the briefer side of things if these do end up producing. It's really hard. Like, okay, you can make the argument for a tornado in this environment. It's really hard to make a argument for a strong tornado in, you know, 5.5 lapse rates. And we got an update here. Yeah, they're still continuing this for 13 more minutes. And that is still generally heading towards Leola, South Dakota. But again, you guys aren't in the tornado warning there in Leola, so you know, you don't have to be in your safe spots by any means, but just keep an eye on it just in case. Why does that look so wonky? My camera broken. The motor's not working. It's not moving. No Chaz cam today. I got to figure out what's wrong with that. But he's down there. All right. Latest scan on this storm. Potentially have something happening over here. Again, that's in a weird spot of the storm. It is technically possible. Could still get like a little brief tornado back in here. So still keeping an eye on it. That's a little bit stronger than we had before, but that could also be just another one of those erroneous signals. Let me see how that's progressed. Yeah. Maybe that could be legitimate there. We'll see. Definitely not strong enough to produce a tornado yet, but something to still keep an eye on. That's the thing. My trash people, they don't come up and pick up cardboard boxes, so I have nowhere to put boxes. So they usually just stack up in my house. Just logged in. You're like, what the heck are you looking at? Fair enough. Why tornadoes? North Dakota is probably not going to get tornadoes. Our northern threat is pretty apparent earlier on that it was falling apart. But you can still make an argument, at least for South Dakota, that we still have a tornado threat. Although we have had some areas of spin up here. We had a broad circulation earlier that got tornado warned, but no confirmation that that was on the ground, and it probably wasn't. So, you know, our tornado threat is more into the south of North Dakota and South Dakota. Little update over here though for Foreman. Your 60-mile-per-hour winds are in range, probably about to come through, and then Rutland's going to be after that. After this, if this still stays severe thunderstorm warned, it's going to be coming into Milnor, Lidgerwood, and Windmere. Yeah, look at these storms. We were talking about how those updrafts were looking kind of scraggly, and these storms are looking even more scraggly. They're getting scraggified. That's a new word. Not sure if it's a good new word. Spaghetti with grape jam. What are y'all talking about? Spaghetti with grape jam? That's not spaghetti. You can't call that spaghetti. Yeah, it looks like that was an erroneous signal up there. I mean, it disappeared like immediately, which doesn't. So yeah, it happens sometimes when you get like this, you know, these very broad areas of circulation. You can sometimes see, you know, a tight circulation in there. And sometimes that does mean that there's like an actual tornado about to happen, but also it is quite common to get, you know, random tight circulations in there that aren't really truthful. I mean, it doesn't, I wouldn't say it sounds good. Maybe threw some peanut butter in there, but even then. Yeah, these storms are congealing quite quickly. You can see that they were initiated by this cold pool. So they're probably going to do the same exact thing as these storms, which is blow up into more of a wind and hail threat, and then maybe try to produce some broad circulation to maybe some tight circulation later. Because again, this area of our storms is in the highest spin, and with the kind of really crappy thermodynamics around it, you know, it's, you know, you could get a brief tornado out of it, but these are probably going to do the same thing. There will still technically be a tornado threat. Just won't be what was possible, which we could technically have made an argument that a strong tornado was possible today, but it doesn't seem like. It seems like that possibility is getting lower and lower by the minute. It sure is, Mark. Thai pizza. No, I've actually never had Thai before. They downgraded to a 2%? Really? Oh yeah, they did. That makes sense. I mean, I'm glad they're watching along with us. See, when I say it, no, I'm just kidding. It never changes. Even if we have like a 10% hatch risk and it's like obvious it's gonna bust, they still never change it. Or if it's like obvious that it's in the process of busting, they never change it. They'll keep it on going. Like that one moderate risk, and they just kept forever, and it took them forever to shift it down to the south for that more southern threat into Iowa. They are a little bit stubborn in the SPC, a little bit stubborn. Yeah, we have downgraded our tornado threat to a 2%, so it's a pretty low chance for a tornado, which I agree with. Again, if these fired earlier, probably would have still had like a 5% tornado chance. But again, like, these storms are initiating because of the forcing of the cold pool, and not because of some subtle forcing, you know, with a 300 millibar jet. If that happened earlier, before these storms were kind of introducing a bunch of cold air into the region, these storms could have gone crazy. Like maybe even tornado of the year status type crazy. So really thankful that didn't end up happening. But there's still a little bit of a tornado threat. Jojo Bean, you are shedding like crazy. How's that even possible, Yo-Yo Bean? Lake City being tornado of the year? I don't know, man. It was a tornado. That was crazy. It depends on what you think tornado of the year should be like. Yeah, latest scan here in a tornado warning, still very broad circulation. I mean, last time we had this broad of circulation, they kept the tornado warning going for like probably way longer than they should have, but so they might extend it. But I mean, it's very broad circulation, really not much of a tornadic storm right now. Very broad circulation and just mainly some strong winds coming into the south side. That's really the main thing that's sticking out to me with this storm right now. So if I had the knobs to the tornado warning, I'd probably let it expire, but keep monitoring it for Leola. What do you pin the Tornado of the Year award to? Probably like the Gary, South Dakota tornado. That one was crazy. And it was on the ground for so long and it had so many different shapes. I really think that one was like the coolest one. Like big tornado just doesn't do it for me. And then it did a little squiggly thing. Like that was crazy. And it was in a field for most of its life. I mean, that's about as good as you can get for Tornado of the Year. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't base it off impacts. In fact, I think the more the impacts it has, the less. I think that should be points against Tornado of the Year, in my opinion. I think it should be, you should try to pick a tornado that at least most people can enjoy. Like if you're over there celebrating Tornado of the Year of a tornado that killed like 100 people, that's kind of messed up. Yeah, Plevna was pretty insane. I do agree. But that wasn't that one at night? Wellfleet, yeah, Wellfleet was pretty crazy too. Ellendale, North Dakota. Let me check. Ellendale, North Dakota. Yeah, you guys are chilling. Just some rain, heavy rain. Your tornado threat's going to be further to your south. So I'd still watch out. I think that we've been getting flash flood warning. Yeah, they haven't extended this warning to anyone else. So looks like flooding is still a minimal, somewhat of a minimal threat right now, but still keep your eye on it. A little interesting. Definitely getting a little bit of a cold pool surge again. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting a new cold pool surge and even an area of some circulation developing here, which might prompt an extension of a tornado warning near Grassland Colony, Witoka, Long Lake, Hurite Colony, and Deerfield, Hurite Colony.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's going to be, yeah. Oh, they didn't extend it all the way over there. Okay, so that's still west of that area. So you guys don't have to go into your safe spots yet, but
a new tornado warning has been issued.
What? Where's that one? And I think my radar program. Oh. Oh yeah, look at that. A little area of circulation is here south of Havana. Wow, it's actually, that's pretty interesting. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, that's legitimate. Yeah, that's pretty close to tornadoing. If you live over here near Marlow, Hillhead, Veblen, Dahlberg, and Clare City, you guys need to be in your safe spots. This is a potential legitimate tornado threat here. We got definitely an area of compact rotation here south of Havana. If you live in these areas, this is in South Dakota. Make sure you guys are in your safe spots. CC drop. It looked kind of like there was one, but it wasn't. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's a tornado on the ground. That is 100% a tornado in progress. Most likely was a brief tornado, but if you live in Veblen and Clare City, make sure you are in your safe spots. We do have a tornado currently on the ground. It's the first tornado of the night. There's your area of rotation. There's that CC drop right over it. So again, if you live over here near Marlow and Hillhead, South Dakota, you guys need to be in your safe spots. Again, we've got a tornado in progress just to your west. Come check back over here. Yeah, this looks like this area of rotation is back to looking not too bad. You can also tell the velocities are kind of weakening here as well. So our cold pool surge is slowing down a little bit as it inevitably runs into more friction, but can't rule out another little surge of cold air. And if that does happen, that will nudge this storm into probably a little bit more instability. I wonder if this is about to become like more of a QLCS tornado threat. That is interesting. See what our wind shear is looking like out here. Wow. There's like 40 knots of lower level shear around these storms. This is the kind of bad thermal but higher shear shenanigans. Like you would never see this if we didn't have nearly 40 knots of lower level shear in this area. But the fact that we do have, you know, actually a pretty decently high shear environment, we might have a little bit of a QL or a brief tornado threat out over here. Got to keep our eyes peeled for Foreman, Rutland, Veblen, and Lidgerwood. See what our storm chasers are up to. Haven't checked in on them in a while. This is Paigey Tornado. She's near Oneida, South Dakota. Still making her way up to the north, trying to make it up towards that other storm. And then this is Storm Runner Media, who is also in progress, trying to go up to the north. Let's listen into their scanner radio.
Just holler. Are you coming up 83 too, Freddie?
Yeah, you guys do have some pretty heavy rain there near Ellendale.
I'm gonna shoot east towards Gettysburg. Yep, copy. Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm 15 out of Gettysburg right now, so.
It's hilarious because we came from over there to get down here.
Yep, I'm in Gettysburg right now. Copy
Wow.
that. Yeah, we've basically just been making.
Yeah, they just did a big old loop-de-loop. Let's check on our latest here. Yeah, latest scan. Still waiting to see where our velocity couplet goes. It would probably go. Yeah, it is here now. There still is some debris in that area. So very well still could have a weak tornado in progress here just to the west of Veblen. So I would still be in your safe spots. Good night, Jess. Yeah. Go past this song. This song is a little bit too joyful for having a tornado warning in progress. Or tornado in progress. This area of circulation as of our latest scan is still looking even weaker now. It's interesting that that little area was able to sneak by there real quick. Kind of came out of nowhere. Will we see a hurricane make landfall in August? It's definitely possible. Is there storms building up behind storms? Kind of. But they're really not going to back build that much. We could get storms as far south as like where these storms are right now near Pierre, as this cold pool runs into them as well. And still waiting on our latest scan though on our little QLCS NATO. Is Aberdeen going to be okay? I would definitely be weather aware. We do have a decent amount of spin where these storms are. Again, it's not super favorable, but I wouldn't rule out a brief tornado along this line still. So I would still be aware, watching out for tornadoes. You guys still have about an hour or so before the storms come through you. But I would definitely be paying attention. We're out of it. I mean, there's still like, there's still a couple of storms back there for Ellendale. Again, they're back building a little bit, so you do have a couple more like thunderstorms threat. But I mean, you're out of the main threat. You're not going to be getting tornadoes, and likely not going to be getting severe weather after these storms come through. Let's check back over here. Yeah, still don't have we have our latest correlation coefficient scan, and it looks like I'm not really seeing any concentrated debris signature. So it might be done. I just want to see that latest velocity scan. Yeah, I'm not seeing a debris signature anymore, so I think this tornado has lifted. Also, something to note over here near Rutland, North Dakota, we do have a building area of circulation here. Got to keep an eye on for this storm doing what this storm did. Looks like they are continuing this tornado warning for 24 minutes near Veblen and Clare City, so please continue to be taking it seriously and being in your safe spots. And the safe spot is the lowest, most interior portion of your house, as many walls between you and the outside as humanly possible, a tornado shelter, or a basement that is underground. I do think this tornado is lifted now, so I'm changing the wording on my title now. Yeah, but if you're just tuning in, we just had a brief tornado in South Dakota, kind of like a QLCS type tornado. You see that dying circulation over there. If we push this in play, see where it started was here, came down to here, and then we saw the debris signature here, but it might have been on the ground, started before that, and the debris only popped up as that debris rose into the air, and then our circulation occluded, and it continues to occlude. Still keeping an eye for maybe a stronger area of rotation again. Can't rule that out. But again, we're not really talking about much potential out here for strong tornadoes that can do like a whole lot of damage, but some brief tornadoes and some fences and maybe even some trailers could be in threat out here with these more briefer tornadoes. But I mean, I guess like you technically can't completely rule out a strong tornado, but it's a low percentage. But we do have like around 40 knots of shear, like pushing right up into this area. So that's a lot of lower level shear. 40 to 35 knots. How's Iowa looking? You guys are looking okay for now. It's pretty conditional for you guys. You can see that, yeah, some thunderstorms could happen around 4 a.m., but they're likely not going to be overly severe. There is some severe potential, though. It's just on the lower end. Over there near Sioux City, north of Omaha, near Cherokee, Holston, Ida Grove, Iowa. Those die out pretty quickly, and then by 7 a.m. tomorrow, you guys might have some severe weather to worry about. We bring this to the 23Z. Yeah, 23Z is still not, I don't think the 23Z really has a good grasp on our storms right now. Yeah, I mean, generally overall, some thunderstorms, maybe a little bit further up to the north. Des Moines might get some thunderstorms or some severe weather by like 12 p.m., but I'm not really seeing anything like super dangerous for you guys. Jojo Bean, I am getting your hair like all over my face. You got all this shit in hair. What are you? So cutie. Such a sweetie pie. But your hair is getting all up in my nose. You're shedding so much. Let's check back over here south of Leola. Yeah, it looks like this tornado warning is probably on its way out. There's just not a whole lot of rotation to note at all there. Potentially something trying to develop over here near Holvin. Pretty weak rotation right now. See you later, Jojo. But maybe something to keep an eye on. It is kind of in the same environment that this storm tried to do it in, but again, these storms should be pretty susceptible to becoming outflow dominant. So if we do see these, oh wow. Latest scan out over here near Rutland, actually getting a pretty decent velocity signature. It is still a little bit broad, but I mean, that's close to becoming tornadic. I would not rule, I bet you we're about to get a tornado warning for this, for Cayuga and near Cayuga, most likely. Latest scan over here on a tornado that was on the ground earlier, but is not anymore. Still doesn't look too impressive anymore. But I would continue to be in your safe spots there near Marlow, just in case this little area of circulation does try again. The chassis cam is not working right now. Yeah, there it is.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
New tornado warning for Cayuga and Lidgerwood. So they did actually extend it out pretty far off to the east. This is up in North Dakota. So if you live in Cayuga or Lidgerwood, you guys need to be in your safe spots. Again, we are monitoring a pretty decent area of circulation here. No debris signature yet, but this thing is certainly trying to spin up. So please be in your safe spots. We now have 3 tornado warnings. One in southeast North Dakota, another one over here near Veblen and another one over here near Lidgerwood in southeast North Dakota. Another one over here near Veblen and near Clare City, and another one back over here near Leola. I do think that this one is about to be expired, so we're about to be down to 2. And this one could be about to be expired as well, as it doesn't really have too much rotation on it. But this storm right now is definitely the one with most of that's catching my eye the most as that heads towards Cayuga, guys. It definitely has a pretty decent area of rotation. Did you miss any good shots? You mean of storms? Not really. We saw a dying updraft earlier. We saw an updraft try to updraft and then die. So you missed that. But unfortunately, our storm chasers, at least from the tornado threat that's happening right now, they are pretty far away from it. But that could move into Bowdle or Hoven eventually, so which is where they are traveling towards. Yeah, I would say 40 knots of shear is a little bit more than I was expecting today. I was expecting around 30. But 40 knots is definitely enough to push some of these storms over the top. Updraft just stopped going up. It was just a draft. All right, here's the latest scan out of Rutland, North Dakota. Still some broader, looks like we still have just a little bit of broadness with this circulation. Not tightening up like that other one did to its south. This one to the south is also is falling apart here. And I wouldn't say also falling apart. This is still a pretty stout broad circulation. That could easily tighten up again. Check back over here near Hoven, where we have some broad circulation, not really getting its act together. Wow, these storms near Pierre are actually starting to get their act together again. Are we about to see the storm chasers do yet another U-turn? Is the question. Imagine. As they started up here, they came down here for these storms. These storms struggled, and then they were going up to these storms, but now these storms are doing good again. Or they're trying to do better than they were. I mean, yeah, these are the biggest, tallest cloud tops we've seen. I mean, 52,000 feet. That's enough to raise eyebrows. What will the storm chasers do? Will I do a cute dance? No, I don't dance. Sorry. I'm out of water again. A little update though on the other portions of this line. They have dropped our severe thunderstorm warning for 55 or down to 55 mile per hour winds. It's now a special weather statement, which is just below severe criteria, but Milner, Barry should be watching out for some gustier winds. Back down a little bit further to the south, our severe thunderstorm warning over here just expired actually. This one's still ongoing for 1-inch hail heading into Florence. These storms might be the ones that Iowa has to deal with maybe later, as they are building down to the south a pretty decent amount there. How do the storms look like for tornadoes by Watertown? What state is... Oh, just mainly damaging winds or hail. Your tornado threat near Watertown is, I would say, relatively low, but I mean, you guys do have a decent amount of shear nearby. We do have to keep an eye on these storms, but for now, they're looking pretty uninteresting. Yeah, still waiting for that latest scan to come in. They are extending this storm as a severe thunderstorm warning now for 1.5-inch hail. It's moving down to the south and east towards Wetonka. Rotation still looking super weak there. Should get that scan in any moment. That is not what I said. That is fake news. You are back. What have you missed? You might have missed the tornado that just dropped over here north and west of Veblen. That has since lifted, but we have another area of rotation that is picking back up, and we have up to 3 tornado warnings, about to be probably 2, maybe even 0. This area of rotation is now broadening out very significantly. This is more just a damaging wind threat now, but still gotta watch this just in case it does try to spin up again. Oops. Wow, they're still keeping this going. That is surprising. They should just have allowed it to expire. Oh yeah, look at this. We just got our latest meso analysis update. It is getting capped like nobody's business. There is so much cap out here. These storms don't even have the ability to tell the truth anymore. At least back over here. But out over in front of these storms, there's actually a little area where that cap hasn't filled in yet. If this is correct, could have a little pocket still, probably about 30 to 45 minutes, where these storms over here could still try to be interesting in terms of their QLCS threat. But we're probably like an hour, like 30 minutes, an hour max away from the tornado threat really trying to fall completely apart. Unless these storms over here near Pierre try to do something, but they're also dealing with quite a substantial surface inversion. I thank you, Lions for Life and Ross for subscribing. Welcome in. Thank you, MG. I appreciate that. Yeah, still waiting on that latest scan to come in. Not really much to do in between scans. Other than just talk to you guys. Talk to a bunch of goobers in chat. Pierre Storm. It's hard to really make an argument for the Pierre Storm. Honestly. Lower level shear for the Pierre Storm is like a lot weaker than it is. Like you can make an argument for shenanigans still up here. But like especially back over where these storms are, these ones over here are, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can still make an argument for them. But again, there's going to be a point when no argument can be made. And I think we're getting pretty close to that. These ones back over here though, even though the environment is capped out and we're starting to, or the lower level lapse rates are a little bit on the low side. We have around 40 to 35 knots pumping into these storms right now. So we could get maybe another brief tornado, but it does seem like on our latest scan, our rotation here is continuing to broaden out. This one has completely died off, has not tried to make a comeback yet. So that might have just been a brief little escalation. This storm to the north over here near Leola. Nah. This one's gone fully outflow dominant. Unless I guess, yeah, you could make the argument it could do it again if we get another cold pool surge. Which is technically possible given the fact that we have so many storms here. That's pretty much what these storms need, is just big old push of cold air, kind of rush out in front of that outflow boundary, tap into a little bit more favorable environment. Bit confused by some of the chasers being shocked that these cells are clustered and not doing anything. This was evident like 3 to 5 hours ago. Not really. I wouldn't say evident. I mean, the thing is like when you have low lapse rates, you know, you got to be looking at satellite every now and then. You know, you do get a clearing when you're not expecting it. There was a chance. There was a chance they could have fired. Okay, Larry, you're just smarter than everybody, I guess. What were you looking at, Larry, that had you so convinced? Thanks for the stream. First time watching the channel. Welcome in, Nice Eye. Glad you can join us. Nice to meet you. And they are letting a lot of these tornado watches expire, by the way, near McLaughlin and Linton, Napoleon, and Bismarck. All right, do we have a new velocity scan yet? Not yet. Oh, wow. And the storm over here, south of Roscoe and Bowdle, just got upgraded to 2.75-inch hail. That is baseball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So this is now a destructive supercell moving off to the east towards A64. So please be aware that baseball-sized hail could be possible with this storm. Evan will announce a great surprise at 750 likes. Okay, sure. Are any of these storms going to stay severe overnight? It's going to be a lot lower of a chance overnight. It should be mostly just rain and thunder, especially as we move into like 9, 10 p.m.
A new PDS severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Yeah, they just upgraded this southern warning as well to 2.5-inch hail. So this entire area needs to be watching out near Tolstoy, Anaka, and Hoven for some baseball-sized hail. All right, let's see what the storm chasers are doing. Did they turn around? They did not turn around. They are still going for it. You can almost see the storm in the distance. What about Paigey Tornado? Is she following the herd? I think she is. They're all going north like a flock of birds. All right, let me refill my water really quick because none of the rotations are that crazy right now. And thank you, Sassy, for the 2. Thank you so much. What does it say? For Hannah, Wolf City, for the public dog park. Wow. So nice of you. I'm back. Kiddos. Yeah, you can see that there's some rain back there. Oh yeah, I got a beer. Okay. Now I'm ready. Sorry. It's a wee little break. All right. Just to use the restroom and whatnot. Get that water. Yeah, good news is this rotation has completely fizzled, and this one is really not looking like it's reorganizing yet, but we're still watching the storms. I would still be in your safe spots, at least in Lidgerfield or Lidgerwood. I think Clare City's gonna be okay though. Back over here just to the west of Aberdeen. Still seeing really not much on this storm whatsoever. Expires in 4 minutes. I think they're gonna allow it to expire. Oh, I'm sorry, Lynx. No, I was just asking, Larry. What were you seeing? I didn't take it personally. Is it safe to drive from Ellendale to Jamestown right now? Where's Jamestown? Yeah. You're fine. Just watch out for those tsunamis. You never know in North Dakota. Well, you can actually kind of see the storm now here from Storm Runner Media. It looks like they're letting the tornado warning near Britain, South Dakota to expire.
East at 15. Okay, so we might be able to see this bowl, chat. I doubt it from this angle, but we
Pierre,
might be able
you guys do have storms building near you, but they are struggling. There might be a hail threat with them. Still technically worth watching those storms, but
Yes. Oh, that sucks.
I would watch the storm. I keep an eye on them. They could definitely get severe.
Oh, hey Scott, wanna go attack too? Bowl is lowering. Again, I cannot confirm any strong rotation underneath it. It's very sus though.
Okay, so Connor's reporting a bowl.
Hopefully we can see this bowl. Oh, yep, there's the bowl. I see it.
Yeah, I can actually see that from here. It's gonna
They
be
are
nice.
reporting a bowl near Hoven.
I believe I see that.
There is not much rotation on radar though. So not sure. Would
Chat,
need to
we're
see it with my own
looking right
eyes.
There. You guys see that bowl right there? Right there on that left side.
I can barely see anything. Oh, kind of see something there. Bowl doesn't really mean much if there's not any rotation. You can get something called a bowl funnel, but I don't think that's what we're looking at. I think what they're reporting is maybe a weak wall cloud. Maybe.
Gosh, dang it. Got so many things going on. Ah.
Garrett needs a storm chasing partner.
Thank you for the reminder. Chat, you guys see that over there? It's right there on that side. Right,
Sure.
right there.
Let me see if I can put a filter on it.
Right underneath the base.
It doesn't really help. I can kind of see it, just not a whole lot. Need to get a little bit closer.
Almost got a deer.
It's over there on that side.
There needs to be a bowl warning. No. No, not on this storm yet. No dangerous bowls. It's not a bowl of nails, it's more like a bowl of Lucky Charms. It's there. Yeah, I can kind of see it. I just don't know if it's like something to be actually concerned about or if it's just the storm has a weird
Alright, Jack.
shape underneath it.
We're getting here. It's incredible how this storm just blew up like it did.
Trying to figure out if this thing's gonna try to
Non-stop thunder. Yeah, these storms are very electrical.
here to the west.
All right, let's go check back out our... Oh, that's a me problem. Hold on.
This thing's
There we go.
actually starting to get nicely striated right now. Yeah, look.
Yeah, let's go back over to our radar where almost all of our tornado warnings have been allowed to expire except for this one. This one expires in 29 minutes, but I got a feeling they're going to let it expire before then. Does seem like that tornado threat was pretty brief. I'm going to take a look at these storms a little bit further north. Yeah, not as interesting up there, but there is a couple little areas of like brief, broad, and weak circulations happening up there. This one's very broad though and weak. I'm surprised they continued it, to be honest. Where'd our music go? Want that back. There we go. Is Nebraska doing okay? Yeah. Not expecting much for Nebraska. Let me check the latest models for you, though. I know there should be some storms eventually, yeah. There could be like one near Valentine and like Ainsworth, Nebraska, as we go into like the past midnight hours. Check Watonka? Sure. Isn't that like... Yeah. Watonka's got quite the storm coming with the potential for some ping pong ball sized hit. Oh. A new area of circulation briefly developed there. And it is now gone. Well, it's still a little bit there. Keep your eyes out there. I'm not sure if that's a legitimate signal. That might have been like a little bit of hail contamination. That was almost bad. It did pop up very briefly. And there's still a little bit there. So yeah, I'd be watching that there near Watonka. This is one of those times where I think switching over to the storm relative would be helpful to see just how strong that still is. Yeah, that got pretty close to producing a brief tornado. Really popped up out of nowhere there. That is pretty interesting. But now it's not nearly as strong there near Watonka. But I would still keep your eye. These storms still have the potential for shenanigans even further back here. So. Am I getting the satellite views from? Just this is from the NOAA. But man, look at all these fires up here. This always blows my mind. How many fires can be on fire at once in Canada? You know, there was a time when Canada really wasn't considered a wildfire type, you know, a wildfire prone country, but man, that is crazy. It just goes berserk there every year now. Wow, look at this from Pagey Tornado as she approaches our storm.
We do need some good home
further to the south of Roscoe.
Wow. Whoa! The Mamones! What?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
hey, look at that. That's pretty cool.
To look up and see that.
Nice. This is what it looks like over here on Stormwater Media's stream. Still waiting for them to reposition here. Poor land management. Funny. That's funny. Not sure if you know this, but there's like no roads out here and like no cities. There's a couple roads, but it's like really hard to manage in the middle of nowhere forest. Not sure what you do in that situation. So that's not really a valid argument. It's global warming, actually. Yeah, these winds are getting a lot stronger here, south and east of Leola. We're getting pretty close to our radar. We are seeing an escalation, not to a well, I mean, there could be some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We might get an upgrade on our warning here. This area of our storm is really starting to surge into a damaging wind threat. We could see something like we did yesterday, or no, 2 days ago in Dodge City, near Aberdeen. Let's go check back in with this storm. This storm still has very broad circulation. Could eventually maybe try to do something like this storm did, though, eventually. Go check on our tornado warning here in North Dakota. Yeah, that circulation is not looking too bad anymore. A little weird area of rotation north of Lake City. Not really sure what to think about that right now. See, where's our radar? That's going towards... This is going away. Yeah, maybe something trying to develop there. North of Lake City. Yeah, we are starting to get those high shear environment storm shenanigans we were talking about being possible. So it did happen. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting. Like lapse rates sometimes lapse rates being low, especially down in the southeast, that seems to be just it's over for a storm, even when you have higher shear. But once you get into those 40 knots of shear, it's like, you know, even with like the worst thermals possible, you see like these really brief tornadoes. You usually don't get strong tornadoes, but like those really brief, and sometimes they can be like, you know, somewhat intense, even as a brief tornado, but they're usually not on the ground for very long, but it does be happening sometimes. Yeah, still back over here near Aberdeen where these storm chasers are getting closer to. Like right here, our storm relative helicity is around 500. Down over here, it's around 400. So these storm down over here could still maybe try to do something, but I think what it needs in order to even try to produce a tornado at this point is a cold pull surge. Kind of like what this storm is doing right now. It's having that big old cold pull surge off to the south and east. I'm just really hoping on our next scans we don't see this escalate into another one of those like 80 to 90 mile per hour windstorms. Let me see if we have any live cameras near the Aberdeen area in South Dakota. Yeah, no live cameras near Aberdeen. Let me check my high definition map. Yeah, nothing. Just been vibing. That's what we do here. We vibe and cover severe weather. Wow, look at Storm Hunter Media's view. Yeah, I'm not seeing any bowl under there. So it must have gone. Oh, is that it? Let's listen in. What happened to that sign? That sign is sideways. Not sure if it was like that before or that happened with the wind.
I don't
Show
really know
feet?
many. I mean, I guess there might be another road or two down the line. I could probably go a little bit closer. I need to get a little bit closer.
Big fan on this smoke. Well, the more or the more wind that goes over that smoke, the more the fires are gonna burn. So I'm not sure if you want to do that. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look overly interesting to me. Yeah, you can see how high the base of the storm is. This is like almost an elevated storm here. So probably still mostly susceptible to like damaging winds still and like larger hail. Thanks, Josh's Weather. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I guess you did a little bit, Sheila. Hey guys, only 19 more subscribers until big number. New number upgrade. So if you haven't subbed, just hit it. Just do it. Just to see number get big. Or bigger. A latest scan out over here near Aberdeen. It's like our winds are still not escalating too high yet. We still do have pockets there of almost 70-mile-per-hour winds. Again, that's still about 1,000 feet above the surface, so probably not making it down to the surface. Still keeping an eye on this storm. Let's come back over here and check on our tornado warning in North Dakota. I'm surprised they haven't let this one expire, to be honest. It didn't work. Me begging didn't work, guys. I tried to help you. Oh, that was a nice lightning bolt. We got some nice lightning.
Yeah, it's getting a little expensive.
Here never did anything.
Freddy must be closed out. That's funny. That's funny. Oops. And that's what it looks like out there. They're over here by this storm right now. They have upgraded this storm to 2-inch hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds now, heading into Hoven, Tolstoy, and Onaka. Also back over here near Florence, South Dakota, we have 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, still propagating off to the east towards Kempeska. And then further off to the north, no severe thunderstorm warnings right now currently in the North Dakota area, but we still do have this tornado warning that honestly should have been expired like 30 minutes ago. Ooh. Still a little interesting area of rotation near Lake City. They might throw a NATO warning on that if that keeps on trying to organize. Still kind of seems like it's in an elevated environment, but we just saw a storm like that produce not too long ago. Why is Paige's stream always so loud?
Pretty much constant
Thanks.
lightning.
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can see any lightning bolts in this thing. There's a lot of lightning in these storms right now. Oh, there's one. Nice. Little zappity doodah. looks like Pierre is about to get hit by a thunderstorm. It's not severe, but be expecting some heavier rain in Pierre and also Aberdeen. North or South Dakota has probably about 20 minutes until, or like, yeah, about 10 to 20 minutes before this storm comes through y'all's area.
Look at that.
See the
What is that? Not sure.
Look at that thing.
Zooming in.
That just scud. I can't see much motion in it.
See it on the.
I can't tell.
What's that?
pull up here and look at it for a
Okay.
I know there's not any rotation on radar on this storm, but it's interesting. It's got a new severe thunderstorm warning now for the Aberdeen area. You mute this and we'll go look at it real quick. That's gonna be for, oh yeah, they did upgrade this to now 70-mile-per-hour winds. I mean, that is $50 sized hail for Aberdeen. So 70-mile-per-hour winds means that there's a little bit of a higher chance that you guys might see a power outage there. So if you live in Aberdeen, Bath, Groton, and Warner, you guys all need to be indoors and well away from those windows. If you live near big trees, I would suggest being in your safe spot, just to make sure you have as many layers as possible in between you and the outside, so that you know, if a tree falls down, the roof and then the walls and maybe even some electrical wires or some plumbing will stop the tree before it comes and hits you, as long as you're more in the interior portion of your house. Thank you, Tom and Enigma, for subscribing. Thank you so much. Yeah, you see these winds are coming in. There was little isolated areas of 70-mile-per-hour winds. I'm not seeing that anymore. Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty close up here south of Watonka. So yeah, watch out there in Aberdeen. Maximum wind gusts of 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible. This is radar indicated and a considerable damage threat. You can definitely see some limbs go down if that is the case. And thank you, B-Fly, for becoming a WIMD member. Welcome. Wow. Pagey's got a really good view of her storm. Wait, what did I just do? Did I just do something over here? Oh, okay. Making sure. Check out Storm Winter Media's view.
Just gonna pull in right there, and you guys will have that look right there.
Nice. We're getting into position now. Okay, Dan, let me know. Let me know what you hear. Is that corn? Does every state just grow corn now? I guess corn is needed. Oh man, he's losing service for some reason. I don't know what's happening there. Let's go back over to Pagey, who is basically looking at the exact same feature.
But also, that may be a new base trying to form right there.
That's an interesting theory.
Possibly.
Maybe a new mesocyclone?
There's a lot of storm interactions going on, so...
The base is lowering, so in this area in particular, it is a little bit more surface-based, you could say.
It's kind of getting like...
Hey, that corn's not for you, that's for
attached
cattle.
to the back there, instead of being a single, like, cell there, but they're still kind of discrete. Like, look at this one in Aberdeen. Yeah.
Like, I think it's like 90% of corn
Yeah,
is
the
for
storm
cows,
that's going
not for
into,
human
downtown
consumption.
Aberdeen looks pretty interesting. Kind of took in that outflow that the other storm was throwing off, and
And you see how those... Actually, we can go back.
made a little hook.
I think they've been sitting here long enough.
Had the-
You see how there's like no rotational motion near those clouds on the surface, but look aloft. You see aloft, there's actually a decent amount of rotation there, but not really much near the surface yet.
Human. Yeah, that's kind of weird because
How come they don't put a sign that says it's for cattle only? Checkmate.
another outflow out the
You got me.
side. So I wonder if this one will try.
You got me.
Just like how that one did.
I will now delete my YouTube channel. I've officially been checkmated. I will delete my YouTube channel in shame. Okay, they have finally let this tornado warning expire. Now we are back down to 0 tornado warnings, which is great news. Also, not very surprising news. Selling the house and moving away. Exactly. Yeah, so here's our latest scan with the storm near Aberdeen. Still some pretty decent winds about to come into the Aberdeen area. Potentially up to 70-mile-per-hour winds are coming through. So I definitely don't want to be underestimating this storm too much. It is starting to kind of wrap this outflow boundary inside of it a little bit. This could actually be the beginning of a rotation there. Might have to keep an eye on it. Either wrapping that fully around or it's just wrapping it to about this point. If it's doing that, then it's going to remain outflow dominant. But the storm back over here where the storm chasers are on still doesn't really have much rotation on it. But yeah, still keeping an eye on it. Storm does have 70-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch hail, coming very close to Toasty and Onaka. And storm near Pierre actually just got a special weather statement for 50-mile-per-hour winds. We have a whopping total of 3 severe thunderstorm warnings across our entire country right now, and they're all 70-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warnings. One with 2-inch hail, another one with half-dollar size hail, another one with ping-pong ball-sized hail, which was this one, which they downgraded with this warning. So if you live in this area, you get the storms of the day. And thank you, Shmooey, for subscribing. Welcome in. Welcome to the channel.
PDS lightning.
Yeah, that we can agree on. There's a lot of lightning in that storm.
Interesting.
It's gonna look pretty cool once it gets to nighttime. Man, is it really already 8:50? That's crazy. He's getting late.
We are under tornado watch right now. This tornado watch goes until in an hour. It looks like it expires.
Guys, honestly, if we hit
Yeah.
93,000 this stream, it's really not even worth celebrating because by tomorrow we'll be back under that number again.
Back towards Hoven.
The more and more subscribers you get, the more your channel is susceptible to people like just naturally losing subscribers due to people deleting their YouTube channel or like YouTube channels getting like banned. And so like just naturally, at least with my subscriber count, it's around 20 to 30 subs a day. So if we only get it by like a couple of subs, it's gonna go right. We've already hit 93,000 before. Just FYI. To be the second time we've hit it. We actually hit it after the tsunami stream. But it quickly went back down.
Kind of a big.
Okay, seeing a little bit. We just got our latest radar scan for the storm near Aberdeen. Seeing a little bit of an escalation here of our winds. We're talking about 70, almost 80-mile-per-hour winds, about 700 feet above the surface, which those might be making it down to the ground. So watch out over there near Aberdeen. We're seeing a little bit stronger winds. Even a little pixel there for 80-mile-per-hour winds inside of there. So we could have a PDS severe thunderstorm warning about to be issued here. Man, look at this hook developing here near Aberdeen. Not seeing any serious rotation though. Well, actually, that might be a signal there. If that's right in that, yeah. We might be getting a little bit of rotation too. I would be, honestly, just for the wind itself, I would be in your safe spots. But also, yeah, I would just get to your safe spots if you're in Aberdeen. Lowest floor of your house, as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. Just for the winds and just in case there is a tornado, which seems like this storm is trying to wrap up. You can see that rain is wrapping around a circulation here. And also, on our latest scan, we are also seeing another escalation of our wind again, where we're now measuring almost 90-mile-per-hour winds just to the north and west of Aberdeen. So yet another strong windstorm here for the not for Aberdeen. This is like the first one you guys have gotten, but you know, we had one like 2 days ago. AG's got an interesting view again. We'll continue to give you guys updates, but until those new scans come in, we are going to be watching lightning and seeing what this storm does. This storm could eventually maybe try to do something. You know, we've seen storms try to sneak stuff, like this one right now near Aberdeen is trying to sneak something. You're in Aberdeen, I would just be in your safe spot, honestly. If that produces a quick tornado, you're going to only have like a minute to get to your safe spots when they issue a tornado warning. And just for the winds by itself, I can already tell you right now, you should be in your safe spot. Again, we could get 70 to 80 mile per hour winds into the Aberdeen area. And we have a little area of rotation developing too. So could also be a tornado on top of that. And if that does form, that's going to go right through the center of Aberdeen.
Go back west on the road we just came in on.
Hopefully it doesn't. But again, even just for the wind itself, this is a dangerous storm, potentially a destructive severe thunderstorm here. But still no new scan. When it comes in, we'll switch back over to the radar, I promise. But I would be just, it's gonna be there within like a minute or two. Like it's probably starting to, the wind's probably starting to pick up there in Aberdeen.
I'm sorry. There's mud all over the
They're sounding the sirens, possibly Fire Chief talking about it. Yeah. I mean, I think they should for the wind. Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah, I know. Just be safe.
And if that rotation gets any stronger, they should put a tornado warning on it. But the problem is that rotation's already going to be in Aberdeen by the time they issue that warning. So you guys are going to have like 0.3 seconds to get to your safe spots. So I'm just telling you now to give you a little bit more of a warning that it is possible that a tornado could develop last minute. We've seen this happen before. Okay, we do have the latest
Zoom out wide.
reflectivity that just came in. Our area of interest is now moving into Aberdeen. Don't have the latest velocity scan. Fortunately, we're getting, oh, there's
A new PDS severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
new PDS severe thunderstorm warning has been issued back over here near Hoven again for baseball-sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. So if you live near Hoven, Tolstoy, over there near Onaka, you guys need to be in your safe spots. Not in your safe spots, but definitely away from windows, sorry, for the hail threat. Okay, latest velocity scan is in. I cannot, yeah, we're just too close to the radar here, unfortunately. But yeah, we are still dealing with up to, yeah, this is now 500 feet above the surface. We are still talking around, probably around 70 to 75, maybe at max 80-mile-per-hour winds near the surface. Heading into Richmond Heights and then eventually into Gideros Estates in Harlan Addition. This is actually in Aberdeen. I gotta let it load. See, those winds are starting to pick up a little bit. Definitely a little suspicious looking thing on the right side, top right side of the screen. Wonder if that's that little area of rotation we've been monitoring. Yeah, I'm not seeing a NATO there, as far as I can tell. Not seeing like any power flashes underneath that lowering either. Yeah, winds are definitely starting to pick up here. But still, the core of the storm really hasn't even made it in yet. I tell you what, if I see someone else say this is boring, I think I'm gonna start banning people that have that mentality. Like, if it's boring, leave. I don't like, what do you want? You want destruction? Oh, was that a power flash? I think that was a power flash back there. It was like right in the center of the screen. I'm pretty sure that was a power flash. No, I just saw it again in the same area. If it does it a third time, that was probably not a power flash. Like just to the left of the water tower. Or it could have power flashed twice. I mean, sometimes you get like a blown transformer or like a sparking line. That might have been a power flash. Still waiting on the latest velocity scan. Actually, we just got it in. Here's our latest velocity scan. Yeah, it looks like we're still expecting anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Not seeing those 80 mile per hour wind signals anymore. Still definitely a pretty strong storm coming into Aberdeen. Need to be indoors and away from windows. Storm is still warned for 70 mile per hour winds. All right, so that's what it's looking like in Aberdeen right now. This is what it's looking like out over in South Dakota. Check this out. This is near Tulsi. A little interesting feature there. We've been seeing this on and off with this leading edge. And I think it's just like part of it trying to become surface based, because we really haven't seen much rotation with this storm yet. South of Bowdle.
Say, we'll get into a little bit of the rain, no doubt.
Hey, that sucks.
I believe that most of the bigger hail should stay to our north, if I'm not mistaken.
And this storm is basically a strobe light right now. Look at that. It is non-stop lightning. That is crazy. That's a lot of lightning. Come back over here to Pagey Tornado, who's also in the same area.
Remotely like a wall cloud.
In the most respectful way possible, you remind me of a bird. Okay. It depends on what bird. If you say toucan, there's no way to be respectful about that. It's basically just making fun of my note.
See which way it's still pulling in.
I don't think I could search that on Google links. Let me see.
That was a little too close.
Without something weird popping up. I know that's a type of bird though. Okay, we're good.
Over in that field right there.
Oh,
I look like this? That's disrespectful. That's messed up. All right, latest out of here from Aberdeen. The storm's still coming through. We're still waiting for this little suspicious area to kind of come out from the out from over our radar. Once it gets over here near Bath, we should have a better signal. But as far as we can tell, there still seems to be 60 to 70 mile per hour winds.
It's just continuous.
Yeah, and the lightning is crazy. It is nonstop.
Towards that way.
An eagle? No. Eagles look bad. Eagles look really cool. Like if someone said I look like an eagle, like that would be like a compliment, I believe.
it is so quiet out there.
Wow. This lightning is so cool. Check back in on Aberdeen, see how things are going out here. Yeah, the camera's still shaking, so we still probably have some pretty decent winds coming through.
Yeah, I guess baseball.
Is there anybody from Aberdeen in chat? What are you guys experiencing right now?
It's not peaceful, but it is to us. I gotta put this blue light on again. Keep forgetting.
An alpaca?
There's a preset form by Gettysburg.
Nah.
I'm gonna connect to the stuff up here. We got just a little bit longer on this one. Let's see what it can do.
Yep.
Actually,
Needs a couple nice big gusts of
I on this photo alone, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
Yes, we'll definitely stay in the vehicle for sure. You don't have to tell me twice.
You might be onto something there. I have to look in my family lineage on that one. Almost indistinguishable.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of standing outside in storms.
Tons of rain, wind, and trees starting to fall here in Aberdeen. Okay, thank you for reporting that.
Photographers do that, and I'm like, absolutely not. And they think we're the crazy ones.
Here is Aberdeen, South Dakota. Still lots of lightning. Haven't seen any trees falling or major power outages yet on this camera, thankfully. Oh man, it's getting dark out there, which means we might start seeing some pretty cool bolts if they stop being all in the rain and come out a little bit out in front of the storm. Dog cam is down today. And thank you, Zach and Sydney, for subscribing. Oh, we hit 93K for the second time. Let's go. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, the storm that we're looking at right now is currently warned for baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. And it's still pretty darn close to Tolstoy and Hoven. So not only does it have a lot of lightning, it's also pretty dangerous storm. It's a destructive supercell. Those winds that hail can definitely cause a lot of problems with your vehicles, and also that wind can even cause power outages. It's certainly enough. Okay, we're starting to see our storm peek by our radar a little bit. I don't really see a little interesting signal up here of something. I'm not sure if that's anything. Could just be the wind that, you know, green means going towards the radar, and right about this point is when the wind is moving away from the radar. So that could be something, but it could also be nothing. Somebody's got an update on this severe thunderstorm warning. They have downgraded it to 60-mile-per-hour winds, so that's good news. It looks like it looks like the storm calmed down before it got, or, you know, as it was impacting Aberdeen. Just northwest of Aberdeen, high straight line winds. Okay, thank you for the report. That little bowl lowering? Not really. We've been seeing these on the leading edge of this storm for a while. It's not really anything to be concerned about. We don't really have much rotation on this storm really at all. It's mainly just an outflow dominant wind and hail bag.
Getting dark quick too.
Yeah, we're getting reports of power lines down in Aberdeen. .70-mile-per-hour gust on the north end of town. Okay. So they did get 70-mile-per-hour winds. Gotcha. Bro.
Jeez, I just don't know. This thing is so slow moving.
Yeah, you guys think Freddy gets close to lightning? Check out this photo. I think this is out of, like, somewhere. I'm trying to figure out what's country. Netherlands. In the Netherlands. This dude is this crazy. Just check out that photo I just set or put in chat. I don't understand. Hopefully that person is still alive. I mean, they must have been alive because they posted it. That's terrifying. Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, it's the Netherlands. Well, that one guy came in chat. He called it the Nederlands with a D. I'm not sure if that was like a typo or what. Yeah, okay. So that signal over there was nothing. It was just noise. Yeah, still strong winds, but it looks like this storm is becoming quite outflow dominant now. It's mainly going to be a damaging wind threat, and it does seem like that is taking a break for now. And this storm over here still looks kind of interesting, but it's also very outflow dominant. So I think I'm going to hop off for now. If something like crazy develops, we'll come back on live, I think. But I am getting really hungry, and it's getting kind of late. This storm is, you know, it's got some severe weather on it, but it's nothing too crazy except for this storm over here. There's like every storm chaser and their mom is on that storm, so they'll have tons of coverage of that. Let me raid one of those storm chasers so you guys have a home to go to watch lightning. We'll raid Pagey again. They did a good job today. Who all is live? Actually, kind of tempted to raid Tanner Charles. Oh, we can raid Y'allbot. Yeah, we'll raid Tornado Pagey. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I think the tornado threat's going to be pretty low tonight, but if anything like ramps back up, we'll come back out here and yeah, next stream we'll hit 93,000 again. Raid, are you live? Why are you live? You shouldn't be live. Yeah, it doesn't even say you're live. What are you doing? Trying to steal a raid from Pagey. You're not even live. Despicable. All right, we're rating Tornado Pagey. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go give Pagey a like and a sub. And we'll see you guys the next time. Thank you guys so much. Peace.